Good evening and welcome to live coverage of the Czech Republic against England from Wembley Stadium. Well, it's taking place at Wembley Stadium. It's the first match on the new Commentary Hub YouTube channel, and I'm pleased to be the man hosting it. You can also hear us on Hot Mic. In fact, we have a choice of live commentaries for you. If you're a Scottish supporter and you want to listen to Scotland against against Croatia, rather, you can join JB Sports and Football Commentary Live 2 for that one. They're both YouTube channels and the other usual platforms that we broadcast on. That's on the air now. But if you are an England fan and you want to watch or listen even to the English against the Czech Republic, you can listen right now here on Commentary Hub, on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel and Hot Mic as well. We'll be delighted to have you with us. Of course, don't forget to interact as well. As Wembley's now building up to a real crescendo here. England already through, we know that, but can they perform admirably tonight? The teams are just about in the tunnel as I speak to you. We'll hopefully hear from Justin Hoyte at some point this evening. He's having one or two technical difficulties getting in. So hopefully we'll bring him into the commentary soon enough. And of course, you'll get updates as well. If you are listening to this stream tonight, we will give you updates from the Scotland game. But if you want to listen to that one, it's on Commentary Live 2 on YouTube and, of course, on my own channel, JB Sports. So you can tune into those if you want. But right here, right now, on Hot Mic and Football Commentary Live YouTube channel, first match we've ever done on this. And it's a privilege for me to be doing it. We've got the English against the Czech Republic. What a game it promises to be. Let's hope it's not a 0-0, guys. We're just waiting for Matt to get ready into the commentary box. The Czech Republic are in the tunnel right now. Justin Hoyte will join us throughout. Will just join us as soon as he can get on. But right now, let me hand over to your match commentator. Later, hopefully, Justin Hoyte. And hopefully, alongside him, once he's in there, let's join our match commentator. A very good evening to Matt Iles.
Thank you, John. Well, both these sides are through, but what's at stake is where they finish. Czech Republic go into it top, England second. England need a win to go and finish as group winners. The Czech need a draw, and we're about to find out at Wembley who comes 1 and 2 in Group D. But first, the anthems. Well, that was as good as it gets. Around 20,000 inside Wembley once more. Of course, it's been extended for the semi-finals and the final. England hope to take one step closer to it as we find out whether they will be top spot in Group D or whether they'll have to settle for second and face top in Group E. Of course, top, they go and play at Wembley against either the side in third in Group F, which would be either Portugal, France or Germany. And of course, as I mentioned, should they be second, they will be entertaining the side who finishes top of Sweden, Spain, Slovakia or even better yet, it could be the Polish. And that group, of course, will be settled for tomorrow. Well, England's fans were disappointed and felt very much underwhelmed by their country's performance on Friday night in that drab 0-0 against Scotland, in which Gareth Southgate did take a fair share of the blame himself, saying the buck does essentially lie with him at first, as the nation expects a performance in every major tournament game. Tonight is even more so to really prove the wrongs into rights and to really, to some fans, get them back on side and, of course, keep the belief going in and around the country that England can go far at Euro 2020. Well, looking at the two sides, the Czech Republic are unchanged from their 1-1 draw with Croatia. They include one of the joint top scorers in Patrick Schick, who scored 3 goals in the tournament and all of his country's goals so far. There's also names including Tomáš Souček and Vladimír Soufal and Tomáš Kalas, who played for West Ham and Bristol City respectively. For England, it's 4 changes to the team. Kyle Walker is in place of Reece James, who dropped to the bench. Luke Shaw-Maguire is another replacement in. He hasn't played since the 9th of May against Aston Villa with Manchester United. He comes in place of Tyrone Mings and Bukayo Saka. What a night for him. He starts on the right wing in place of Phil Foden, and Jack Grealish, Super Jack as he's known by the England fans, preferred to Mason Mount, who of course, as we know, is self-isolating, which has thrown England's preparations into disrepute. Alongside me, summarising, just as we wait for Justin Hoyte to arrive, none other than John Stuttard, and I'll bring him in just as the took the knee. John, it's a big night for England. Top spot up for grabs. They know they need to win. Is this a performance where England really come out and show what they're made of?
Well, Matt, I think it's going to be a tough old ask, but England need to perform. They have to perform. You know, we can't have a repeat performance of the other night. Otherwise, I'll be ranting and raving again at the end of the broadcast.
Well, I don't think you'll be the only one ranting and raving. As, of course, as we know, England looking to get 7 points in this group. 2 wins and a draw would take them top. The Czech Republic need just a point tonight to guarantee top spot, of course. And to some English fans, there is actually that overriding feeling of, well, they wouldn't mind second place. But, of course, there is that argument that you will have to face the better sides in that group of France, Portugal or Germany in the latter stages should England continue. And Harry Maguire, so nice to see him back in a England jersey and back on the Wembley pitch after a long injury absence. And John, very interested for Harry Maguire tonight, in the side tonight. We always knew that any possible opportunity that he was fit, he was going to play. Be interesting to see how he fares tonight, isn't it?
Absolutely. He's come up from a long injury layoff. He hasn't featured in the first 2 games, as we all know. He should be okay. It all depends on how things go. But I think Mason Mount will be a big miss, obviously, because of the you know, with the self-isolation from Friday night. But Maguire, he needs to have a good game. I think if his fitness holds up very, very well, then I think he should be okay. But England, from a team point of view, I'd like to see Kane on fire like he should be when he's playing. Not in tournament football, if you like, but in qualifying games and Nations League games where he does hit the net for fun. He needs to get up. He needs to get his head out the clouds with his transfer talk.
That's a lovely ball to Sterling, who's in. Oh, goal! He's just hit the post. Well, what a start that would have been inside 2 minutes for Raheem Sterling. Luke Shaw played a lovely ball down the line, and the man who's got England's only goal at Euro 2020 nearly got their next one in the matter of just minutes in this one.
Well, there you are. I mean, Sterling is a terrific player. When he's on song and on form and he's, you know, giving the opportunity, the Czechs obviously didn't nullify him like the Scots did, and he was so unlucky there to hit the post. But what a positive start from England and a good bit of build-up play as well. So at the moment, Matt, England on top, but they've got to take their chances. But if Sterling's in that mood tonight, then he could take some stopping.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Sterling and took a bit of criticism after the Scotland draw, as did the team. So I think the message is pretty clear that they want to start fast and just try and answer those questions that does this England team have enough desire. Well, Gareth Southgate in his 57th match in charge tonight, matching the appearances that he made as a player. And his second major tournament with the Three Lions. Of course, he's now one game ahead of his predecessor, Roy Hodgson, of course, and Gareth Southgate, who knows all about playing at Wembley in a European Championship, is trying to hope that he can take England to their first ever glory and end 55 years of hurt, as John Stones is on the ball. Now it is with Kyle Walker, as now on the ball is John Stones, and here's Jack Grealish. So much talk about him, how much England fans have wanted to see him start from the first two games. And then Shaw's cross is cut out by the number 12, Lucas Majapust, who's going to have a busy night tonight, trying to help his right back out, Vladimir Soufal, as much as he can.
Absolutely. He's going to be a tough test. But I've just seen the Raheem Sterling chance, and he's done really well to flick it over the goalkeeper. It was a terrific effort, and he was just agonising against the post. And you know what? I think Gareth Southgate, he did what I said on Friday. Ditch the casual look, get the suit on. And he's done exactly that. I am very pleased he's done that. He must have listened to what I said.
Well, it is a very serious night for England, of course. Top spot is what they're playing for, and it could have nearly got off to the dream started. Raheem Sterling's shot just a few inches to the left and had gone on the inside of the post rather than hit the outside of the post. But the Czech Republic, who beat England in a qualifier just under 2 years ago now, be hoping that they can really damage England's chances in this game and, of course, summit them to second place in the group, as this is a first touch for the goalkeeper, Thomas Vaclik, who's second choice at Sevilla. Now, Majapust gives it to Soufal. Now, getting involved for Czech Republic is Tomáš Holeš. Here is now Schick. Scored that wonderful goal against Scotland 8 days ago, and he completely flat-footed David Marshall. And the Czech Republic, John, are a side very tough to play against, and, of course, possess a man in Pat, who's probably been one of the most talked about individual players in this tournament so far.
Yes, and for obvious reasons, Matt. That goal against Scotland, the second goal, that 60 yards or so yard lob over David Marshall, one of the goals of the tournament, if not the goal of the tournament. A lot of people at the time were saying that was better than David Beckham's at the time. He's a top player, and as you said, he's scored all 3 goals. But they had a fright their lives against Scotland. That is for sure, because Scotland had good opportunities at hand in that afternoon. They just couldn't take them, and the Czech Republic took their chances. And boy, did it! That second goal was just, as I would call it, if I was match commentator, pure genius.
It was a pure genius indeed. As there's a foul by the Czech number 9, Tomáš Holeš, who actually came in on Friday in place of Alex Kral. The Czech Republic, since the tournament began, have made just one change to their team. The defence and goalkeeper stayed the same. The 3 attackers and strikers remained the same. Only Holeš in for Kral has been the change for Jaroslav Šilhavý's side, who actually came into this tournament being the most unfancied one in Group D, but yet they've ended up qualifying for the knockout stages, which just goes to show that being the underdogs and being the side that no one really talks about can play in your favour, as we look to try and get Kyle Walker involved straight away, as that ball was a high one by Stones of Manchester City, both teammates together internationally at club level. As now the ball is with Holeš, and then Souček out to Soufal. We've grown to know their 2 last names given their seasons with West Ham in the Premier League. That's a lovely ball through to Majapust, and John Stones comes across and defends that well, and Maguire just hacks that up for a throw. Yeah,
because this is good start. This is a good start from England. They're not giving the Czechs anything so far in the game. They are absolutely, they're on top, and they're looking. I think they do. I have to say they're looking a lot different side. I think the problem they had was that the Scots were well organised on Friday. We can't give Scotland enough credit for that. We can't emphasise that enough. But I think Southgate's had a few choice words in the days since, and it seems to be rubbing off well so far. They're making it's all action, but they just need that early goal, I feel, Matt, and they've got every chance.
Well, of course, it could have got off to a dream start as Calvin Phillips was nearly caught out dwelling on the ball there. Jakub Jankto was putting him under pressure. And, of course, with England, they do usually turn it on in the last games in the Euros. Of course, 2016 was a rare different occasion for them where they had all the possession against Slovakia but drew 0-0. 2004, they had to win to qualify against Croatia. They did exactly that, winning 4-2 with Wayne Rooney stealing the show that night at the Stadium of Lights, the home of Benfica, in that tournament 17 years ago. And of course, as well, you remember the 2010 World Cup, they had to beat Slovenia, and they did it. And of course, in 2000 was another poor story where Phil Neville's late challenge resulted in Romania going through as Harry Kane is fouled by Thomas Callas. The man in the middle tonight is from Portugal, Artur Diaz, and it's a pretty easy spot for the referee to make as the arm goes in on Kane's face there from Callas. The man who plays his club football for Bristol City actually played in London for Chelsea. The referee, as I mentioned, is Artur Diaz from Portugal. He refereed the Wales and Turkey match 6 days ago, in which tempers did flare up, albeit for a few minutes. With Turkey, of course, well behind in that game as the Welsh were being very, very defensive shape. So a chance for England to put it in the box, perhaps, as Calvin Phillips is going to take this. John Stones, of course, as we know, has got experience of scoring in a major tournament. Can he get picked out here? It will be Luke Shaw, I think, who's going to take this as Phillips leaves it for him. Czech Republic have gone with a high line. Shaw with the ball in. Stones with the header on, but he can only head it into the side and can't get it across goal as he would have done there. He made the run to the back post, did John Stones. He just tried to nod it across. He was looking to do, but alongside him was Jan Borrell, the Czech Republic left back, and he just didn't allow him any sort of room to head that across. England are pretty much echoing the start that they made against Croatia 9 days ago, in which they did start fast. Phil Foden hit the post with that curling effort. And, of course, there was a save from that Mason Mount drive. Sterling's gone close if you are just tuning in. And it's come to Kane. Took it first time, but he hits it well over the crossbar. And it came to Harry Kane, and obviously just fired it over. Here's that Raheem Sterling chance again. It came through to him from Shaw. He's dinked it over Thomas Vaclik in the Czech Republic goal, and it just almost unfortunately went on the outside of the post and just couldn't go on the inside of it and in. And that is a lucky escape for Czech Republic, and just goes to show how fine margins can work in football on good days and bad days. And that was a real bad occasion for Raheem Sterling there. The ball into Bukayo Saka. What a big night it is for him. It is immediately away from Thomas Souček. Thomas Souček. Now Phillips. Back to Saka. Turning, crossing in high. It's going to go through to Grealish, into Kane. Look how many players the Czech Republic have got back in this attack. It's gone to Grealish. Cross goes to the back post, and there's Sterling! Raheem Sterling scores for England, just as he did in game one against Croatia. He's been the man who's had all the chances so far for England. He had that one that hit the post. The second one, he wasn't to be denied. He heads it in, and England's fast start sees the reward in it just inside 12 minutes. What a big moment for the team, and what a big moment for Raheem Sterling. Well, it was good build-up play. Grealish stood the cross up. He's got an assist on his full debut in the European Championships. He might have just took a nick off Soufal. Saka attacked it and was there at the back post just to calmly head it in beyond Tomáš Vaclik in the Czech Republic goal. And England lead, and that is exactly what they would have wanted. John Stuttard said that he wanted England to get off to a good start early on, and they've done it within 15 minutes. And look at what it means to those supporters in there. Some of them were booing after 90 minutes on Friday. Now they very much been able to cheer a goal for England as they've made a real positive bright start to this game at Wembley. It now means that Czech Republic have got to come out of it. And here is now Schick, the man who's going to be the biggest threat for the Czech Republic. Is Jakub Jankto. Goes on his left foot, tries the corner. Good block by Grealish. Is Soufal. Oh, they would really love to respond so soon after going behind. There is now Sheluchka. Ball goes in. Schick attacks it. Walker away. Iles with the header back. England are going to stand firm. And Calvin Phillips competes for it and wins a free kick as the flag is raised on that right-hand side by Paulo Soares, the Portuguese assistant referee. Well, I wonder what he'll be thinking. He certainly didn't show a lot of emotion after the Scotland game. He said in his interview that the buck sort of stopped with him, and he did say that the team needs to improve as well. Maybe his harsh words have been ringing in those England players' ears since that team talk, and it really has shown a lot in the start that they've made. And of course, as you can see, England will be top of the group, and as it stands, heading to a round of 16 game at Wembley once more against either Germany, France, Portugal, or even the outsiders in that group, Hungary. So, of course, it would be one of those from the group of death that they would face. Harry Kane, a lot of scrutiny has been placed on his shoulders since his start to the Euros. Saka just can't get away from Boril, who knocks it to Vaclik, who plays it to Soufal. And then it's with Majerpush. That's good pressing by Luke Shaw. Grealish is fouled by Lukasz Majerpush. And it's an England free kick, and squeezing high at the pitch. Luke Shaw was someone who played very, very deep against Scotland, but he was up high to put the pressure on. And then as he won the ball back, it went to Grealish as he wins the free kick. And this is a really good opportunity for England to work Thomas Vaclik in the Czech Republic goal. As it's going to be Bukayo Saka who's going to take this. What a night it is for him. One England goal so far. That came against Austria in that game nearly 3 weeks ago now. Can he put a good delivery in? The Czechs have got a lot of men back to defend this free kick. Not the best ball in by Saka. It's an England corner though as it's gone off. The number 6, Thomas Callas. Well, it's a ball in from Bukayo Saka. It was a ball in. You'd expect him to have put in anyway, but it just didn't have the height or the elevation to trouble and get beyond the Czech defence, who've got more defending to do here. Shaw delivers a high one to the back post. It was Johnson. Now Saka on the edge of the box, just waits for the chance to shoot. Thought he was fouled. Diaz says, as the Czechs now come away with it inside England's half, Schick has then eventually ran out of room and ran the ball out of play. And it's now introduced by co-commentator, ex-England under-21 international. And Justin, good evening to you. And of course, 16 and a half minutes in, what a start this has been by Gareth Southgate in England.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, sorry, a few technical issues here, but it seems like it's been a great start for England so far. I'm still trying to catch up on some of the action, but it seems like a great start and a great positive start for England. Obviously, being 1-0 up, it's a tremendous start for England and one that they would hope for.
It does mean that they are top in the group. And of course, one thing that was disappointing about England's performance game against Scotland was that real sort of attacking feel in the game. And I mean, early on, you can say that it's very much there for England tonight, because Sterling's had 2 really good opportunities and has had one hit the post, and he scored one as England tried to play their way out of trouble, but have eventually given away a free kick with Luke Shaw fouling Vladimir Soufal. And England don't want to be gifting Czech Republic the chance to correct Jordan Pickford's goal, do they?
No, they don't. They're dangerous on set pieces, so they don't want to be giving around too many chances in set pieces, because the Czech Republic are very dangerous on set plays.
Luke Shaw and Arthur Diaz, the Portuguese referee, just had a few words with each other. So this is the first war might have, as the Czechs have got a few men forward. Yankto and Yankto goes to Holes, who then Jan Boril, now to Patrick Schick. He then gives it to Yankto. Cross goes in, defended well by Phillips, who stops the cross there, and Yaroslav Shilhavi, the coach, gives a bit of encouragement as the Czechs are trying to immediately go in search of that goal. And then Walker will get his body up and win a free kick, and that was very good defending there by Kyle Walker, just to draw the foul from Jan Boril. As there's been a goal in the game at Hampden Park. Croatia lead against Scotland. What a big goal that is as well in that game. As
a huge blow for Scotland there.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Scotland know that they need to win to stand any chance of progressing. If they lose or draw, they will be heading out of the European Championships. And of course, it's their first major tournament in 23 years, and it's not quite going the way that they would like, as Croatia, as you can see, into third place now. And you'd have to say, if they win tonight, would be one of those four best sides to be in the knockout rounds, as the ball is with now Yankto, as Czech Republic have very firmly gone against the tidal wave of England pressure. And it's them now trying to put the squeeze on England and Gareth Southgate's team.
Matt, just quickly, we've got a poll which is live on Hot Mic at the moment. How far can Southgate take England? Round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, or indeed the finals? So try and interact. We're also on Twitter as well, at Commentary Live 1. That's at Commentary Live 1 on Twitter. Use the hashtag TCHUB, TCHUB, TCHUB.
That's all the details you need. Further and beyond from just this game on Hot Mic, of course, we are really expanding our channel and really expanding other things as well with the Commentary Hub. And if you are just tuning in, it's so far so good for England, as you can see, with Raheem Sterling scoring England's second goal of the tournament and his second as well, that gives England the lead inside 20 and a half minutes. And I mean, just put yourself in Gareth Southgate's shoes. I mean, in terms of the start that England have made and the intent they've shown, I think you can't be too disappointed with the start that his side have made.
I think he'll be very pleased with the way they've started. I think in the last games against Scotland, they didn't start too well, but in this one, they've come out very positive, got the early goal, seemed to be settled in their shape and playing well. And I think he'll be more than happy with the start of this game so far. And of course, Sterling, on the other hand, will be very, very pleased with getting that goal as well and give him a boost of confidence after the criticism we got from the last game.
It certainly was a confidence booster for him. So much faith has been shown in him by Gareth Southgate throughout his England tenure, as there's a foul on the number 8, Vladimir Darida, the Czech Republic captain, by Luke Shaw. And Justin did allude to it earlier that this Czech Republic side are quite threatening from set pieces, but they've gone with a different route here. As Sufar tries to play it through to Majapus, but it doesn't just quite have enough on it. But the England defence there, down their left-hand side, and sort of Harry Maguire's side, just fell asleep for just a few seconds there, didn't they?
So I'm just watching here, but yeah, they did fall asleep a little bit. They can't continue to do that, or they can't do that too often in this game. Otherwise, the Czech Republic players will most certainly punish that side of the field.
Well, it was a lucky let-off that the ball from Sufal was overhit, that he was looking for Luke Majapus, but of course, Jordan Pickford was off his line quickly to read what was happening, as Harry Maguire's on the ball, as I alluded to. It's so nice to see him back in an England shirt after, of course, he spent the last sort of 6 weeks out with that ankle ligament injury that meant he missed Man United's Europa League final. That's a lovely ball to his teammate Luke Shaw, who has just been flagged for offside against Rui Tavares. And Luke Shaw, we've seen already early on, Justin, playing really high and playing high. He was for the whole 90 minutes on Friday against Scotland.
Yeah, I think he's been told by Gareth Southgate to push a bit higher and to supply some crosses and be more adventurous, I think, than the last game in Scotland. I think he was a bit a bit too defensive, and that's probably not his strength. I think his strength is going forward and attacking and supplying crosses and, creating chances for himself and others. So I think Gareth Southgate has told him this game to push forward as much as he can and join the attack and play to his strengths.
There is now Sufal. Czech Republic had to say since they went a goal down, have been the better of the two. Masha push with the cross in. Of course, you cannot allow the opportunity for Thomas Souček to get a header in on goal, and then Walker casually gives it to Jordan Pickford via his Czech. The Czechs have responded well after going behind.
They have done. I mean, they've not laid down to England. They've been pushing. They've been trying to get the equaliser, and it seems like since that England goal, they've actually been the better side. I think England may have dropped off a little, but I think Czech Republic are really, trying to get back into this as soon as possible.
Sterling now has it. The England goal scorer is going to shoot from range as he plays it to Harry Kane, how he would love to score tonight. Here's now Calvin Phillips. Surely they've got to be thinking about the shot. Walker's come up from right back to help the attack. Now Grealish, when he's in that position, it does use opposition. Shaw gets it in. Looks for Kane. It's away well by Thomas Kalas. And Czech Republic can just allow to just maintain their shape. But England just about in there, but they just couldn't quite get that shot on Thomas Vaclik's goal.
No, they couldn't. I think it's pleasing to see Grealish, get on the ball and create things. And I think he's going to be huge for England in this game. And I think further on in the tournament, it's good to see him having a kind of a free number 10 role. So it'd be interesting to see what he does in this game for England for sure.
Well, Grealish, of course, started from the bench. Wasn't against Croatia, came on against Scotland, showed bright sparks of why he can be a real asset to this team in this tournament. Why, of course, the fans were demanding that he started. Gareth Southgate's listened to what the fans have said, and they want him to start. That's a lovely ball by Maguire to Kane. He goes on his right for Harry Kane, denied by Vaclik. If that was an in-form Harry Kane, you have to say that's in the back of the net, but he got his big golden chance to score there, but he's hit it straight at Vaclik and has let Czech Republic off. And that's 3 big chances that England have had now, and they've squandered 2 of them. As Luke Shaw will take this corner for England. They want that second goal, don't they, England, just to be even more comfortable than they are.
Yeah, they need that second goal to be a bit more comfortable.
Saka to Grealish. He crosses in with his right foot. Away by Sheluchka. And then there is now Majapush, who's under pressure. Grealish fouls him. Free kick given, and Jack Grealish didn't give Lukasz Majapush a lot of opportunity to get out of his own area there, and he will do that, Grealish. He will try and win the ball back at any possible opportunity and win it as quickly as he can. But this is the Harry Kane chance again, Justin. I mean, do you think he should have done anything a little bit different? Do you maybe think he rushed it at all?
I was watching that chance again, actually. I think it was a fantastic ball, Maguire, and Harry Kane took it perfectly well. Great control. Cut inside, and I think that's the best thing he could have done. He tried to find the far post there, but in all, it was a great save by the keeper. But I think he done, all he could. And yes, maybe if he was a little bit much sharper or feeling a bit more confident, he would have hit that firmly. Would have gone in the top corner or the bottom hand corner. But all in all, I think he done well, and it was a great save by the keeper.
Czech Republic here looking to just get a shot on Pickford's goal. Holesh, he will shoot, and Pickford has to dive and push it round the post. Well, that's the closest they've come. Yaroslav shall have his side to scoring, and from that distance, Tomáš Holeš thought he was going to be the equalising hero, but Pickford denied him with a really good save.
He's come up big again, Pickford, there.
He has come very, very big indeed to keep it at 1-0. What will this corner bring for the Czechs? It's Holesh who heads it. Only holds it onto an England head. He's come to Kalas. There's a bit of a scramble in there, which sees Rice to sort of half clear it. Saka's got more work to do to get it out. It's a good challenge by Majapush, and it is a Czech Republic throw, and they're not allowing England any room to get out, are they?
No, they're pressing up high. Actually, they're not giving England any time to breathe or anything, or try and get their game plan going. I think that's the game plan for Czech Republic as they try and get a goal back in this game.
Cross in from Vladimir Darida, and it is a Czech Republic corner. And as you said earlier, Justin, they're not here to lie down. Their fans sense it. They believe those lucky enough to get a ticket inside Wembley that they can get a result here. And of course, if they get a draw, they will finish top of the group because of a superior goal difference.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for.
Corner's going to be delivered in by Darida. It's well attacked by Majapus. It's hit by Thomas Souček, and there's enough England bodies in the way to stop it going through all the way to Pickford. Ball in again by Darida, and Grealish clears away. But there's a few scary moments for the England defence and goalkeeper in just the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think they need to settle their nerves a bit. Maybe, take a little breather and take some time out here because the Czech Republic are relentless in what they're trying to do here. They look like they're going all out for a goal at the moment.
Well, you have to say as well, given the two previous performances prior to tonight, Croatia and Scotland, that didn't really put England under this considerable, such a short space of time. But the Czechs are doing it. You just have Shil Harvey's side. They've got 3 goals to their name in this tournament, all scored by Schick, the man who is on the ball, who plays his club football for Bayer Leverkusen, and they really are taking this game and putting England to the sword as they go in search of this equaliser. But Justin, if they do get this equaliser, though, in this first half and as quickly as they can, and them being on top, they'll just try and get into their defensive shape.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll try and see this one out. I think if they get a goal, you can see they're pushing for a goal, and if they get that, they'll probably sit and defend and probably try and hit England on the counter-attack. But hopefully England will stop that goal going in, even to half time, and then they can get a breather and recap and rethink about what they're going to do for the second half. But the Czech Republic are really pushing for a goal here.
They absolutely are pushing for it. His Yankto goes down in the box. No appeals as Arthur Diaz, the Portuguese referee, is able to have of that foul or that player Yankto going down. Goes down again as Hoyte has it. Then Majapus to Tomáš Kalas. As England aren't having it all their own way. We knew it was going to be a difficult test tonight against the Czech Republic, who know a thing or two about beating England. 9 of this side started that game in October 2019. The only players that didn't play that are in the side tonight include Tomáš Kalas and, of course, Tomáš Hoyte. But this is the opportunity from the corner there. And, of course, it fell to Thomas Souček of West Ham United. And what a big block that was by Declan Rice and John Stones. And had they not been there, Pickford's got to make another save, or even worse for England, it's an equaliser for the Czechs.
Yeah, that would have been horrible for England if they would have conceded that, but a great block by the 2 defenders. Right time, right place.
Yeah, right time indeed. It's as you said, that they are going to be threatening from set pieces. I think Gareth Southgate would have known about that. It's a side with a considerable height. And, of course, when you've got Souček, you've got Seluchka, and you've got Schick. They are going to be a side who are going to just try and put balls into the box at any given moment. Yankto has the ball on the left. They're doing everything right at the moment, the Czech Republic. But what the most important thing is they are unable to score as John Stone steps in to win it back. Now England push for an attack maybe. Ball has slipped through to Bukayo Saka. He's got Sterling alongside him. Crosses in. And it's going to go all the way out for a corner. But just like that one ball through to Bukayo Saka, England have got a chance to really attack that right-hand flank. And it was just a shame that ball was cut up by the Czech defence. But Bukayo Saka early on, Justin, has looked sharp, hasn't he? And is making good on the start that Southgate has given to him tonight.
Yeah, he's looked really sharp. He's got the opportunity to play, and he's doing it justice why he should be playing and be picked in the England team. It's good. Be an Arsenal fan seeing such a young guy play for England. So it's a good opportunity for him, and he's done really well so far in this game. And I think it's what England needed from the Scotland game. You can see that's what they was missing. So it's great that he's in there and he's doing the job that he's been asked to do. And he's got a lot of pace to burn, which will frighten defenders.
Well, of course, it does take that one ball the Czech defence, whether they're high or whether they're sitting deep, and Saka to be there, and there's a chance on goal for him to square it or even to shoot. And he has shown that he has had an impact so far in this game as much as any other England player. Here's Jack Grealish to really stamp his authority on this game, how he would dearly love to be an England scorer in a major tournament. Southgate's used him slowly since he introduced him to the fold. Soufal hacking it away. Rice with the header to Bukayo Saka. Really good touches by the Arsenal man. Kane tried to flick it through. It's gone off Sheluchka. Now Jack Grealish has it again. Maybe it's now England's turn to have a spell on the ball as Arthur Diaz, the referee, gets in the way of the England attack and has to stop playing, let the ball drop at the England team's foot there. And I think Czech Republic are going to be quite grateful for that, because it looked like Grealish had maybe just about picked out a pass there to Kane.
I'll be very thankful for the referee there.
Well, I don't think they're going to be getting angry at the referee in the next minutes should some decisions maybe go against them. Here's Sterling. And then it's been given away as the Czechs now come away with it with Jakub Jankto, who plays in Italy. Sampdoria, the number 14. Almost got a similar haircut to, in colour anyway, to Phil Foden, involved in the England 23 tonight, in the match squad that is. Maybe Southgate is looking ahead to the knockout stage anyway, but there's space on the left here for Jan Boril as Kyle Walker gets out quickly. The cross is still in there anyway, attacked by Jankto. Thrown himself at it is Luke Shaw, and then Souček hits it wide and it fell to him. Of course, as we know, he likes to play higher up the pitch and be involved with any sort of ball that comes into him, and he's mighty close to making it 1-1 in this game. As the ball just sort of came to Souček. See Luke Shaw try and just head that away. Jankto attacked it. It came to Tomas Souček, and he's just put it wide, and he knows that that is a big, big chance in this game. And how close the Czech Republic have come again, and they're certainly putting a bit of anxiety in amongst the England players' minds with some of the chances they've created, and not just created, but how close they've actually been as well.
They've been very close in the last few opportunities there. That was a huge opportunity and chance for them there. Unluckily, he put it wide for England and the England fans. Luckily, he's put that wide, but that's a huge opportunity for them. It wasn't far off either.
No, he wasn't at all. I mean, just a question I'm going to ask you. You could see with Souček, what he's going to do. He's obviously going to just try 10, be the diamond that, go to between the defensive midfield and the midfield. Do you maybe think that, Rice or Phillips should be man marking him? As I'll get your answer in a minute as Czechs come forward here, but it's cut out well by Kyle Walker. Good interception. So I'll ask that same question again. Do you maybe think that on the defensive side, maybe England need to try and man mark Tomas Souček?
I feel on the defensive side, not necessarily man mark, but I feel they need to pay really close attention to him. They need to communicate a bit better to know where he is at all times, and hope, and more or less the defenders, the centre backs, Maguire and Stones need to talk to Rice and to Phillips there to always let him know where he is. Because they might be focusing what's ahead of them, but they also need to see what's behind them, because he's going to be floating in there and picking up any loose balls and getting any opportunity he can outside the box. But no, I think they don't necessarily need to man mark, but they really need to pay close attention to where he is at all times, because he's a real danger man for the Czech Republic.
Well, England have got a corner here with that Luke Shaw cross being pushed around the post by Thomas Vaclik. Had to just be sure that it wasn't going to go beyond him. It's gone all the way through to Maguire, who just didn't really see that as it just sort of bounces off him, and then Walker goes back to Jordan Pickford. But 38 minutes on the clock. Entertaining game so far at Wembley.
It has. It seems like it's been a real end-to-end game right now. A lot more attack-minded by England, and the Czech Republic are really attack-minded also. So it's been a really entertaining first half so far.
Matt, just whilst you got a spare moment, just wanted to quickly give. Actually, I'll break off and let this Harry Kane attack go through first.
Ball goes through, looking for Sterling. It's cut up by the Czech Republic defence. And, of course, you were interrupted there, Barry, so it's a good time now as Grealish just commits the foul to allow you to say your little bit in this broadcast.
Yeah, three things. First of all, we're on Twitter, hashtag TChub, TCHUB, or at Commentary Live 1. That's at Commentary Live 1 on Twitter. We're also receiving messages on Hot Mic, and of course, we're live on our brand new channel on YouTube, which is the Commentary Hub. And just a quick mention, we've got live matches tomorrow. All four matches are live tomorrow on the YouTube channel and YouTube channel 2. We've got two YouTube channels now. And just a quick reminder, on Thursday, we've got the podcast, the Euro Hub podcast, and that's 8 o'clock live on Thursday.
Saka with the ball in, cut out by Shell. Thank you for that, Barry Swain, as of course you now are up to date with our socials and what's to come up in the next 2 days or so in relation to the group stages and the final round of matches. 2 groups to go. Group D is at centre stage. England top of it as it stands with this win, but they know they're going to have to work a lot harder, and they're going to know that they're going to be in a game for the rest of it if they are to hold on to top spot. And of course the Czech Republics have not gone quietly in this game. They've not allowed England any sort of manoeuvre to try and cause them a problem. And Yaroslav Shilhavi's side sense that they can get something from this one, can't they, Justin? I think that's a fair thing to say for someone that's not actually watched the first sort of 39 and 36 seconds of this one.
Sorry, I lost you on that one.
I was about to sort of say, I mean, you know, for the fan who's just sort of coming in, whether it's from work or whatever they've been doing, I think it's fair to say that the Czech Republic side are not here to just try and come in for a 1-0, are they? And not maybe come for a draw. They want, you know, be attacking and try and cause England as problems as they can.
Yeah, I think they have. If you've just come in and just started watching the game, you'd be surprised at the way the Czech Republic are playing. They have not come here to take a loss or take the draw. I think they want to win this and finish top of the group. You can see that they're full of confidence. So, and they bring that into today's game. So it's going to be tough now for England in the last stages of this first half, and it'll be very tough in the second half for England, I'm sure of that.
Here is now Raheem Sterling. Remember the other game at Hampden Park in this group. Scotland, if they are to keep their Euro chances alive, have to win. They're 1-0 down, courtesy of a Nikola Vlasic goal at Hampden Park, which means that Scotland are heading out of the group stages bottom in Group D with just one solitary point to their name. Walker with the low cross in. It's gone off Jan Borrell and out for an England corner. And we've seen Luke Shaw venture forward quite a lot in the early part of the first half. Kyle Walker's now doing a little bit more of it as we are edging closer towards the end of the first half, isn't he, Justin?
Yeah, Kyle Walker's venturing forward a lot more. I think he's seen the Luke Shaw go forward, push forward and get, some into the attacking third a lot in this game so far. So I think it's time, Kyle Walker's thought, right, let me venture forward a little bit. I'm settled in where I am, got my confidence now. He's pushing forward as much as he can to try and create some chances and putting some balls in the box on the right-hand side there.
England's corner doesn't come to anything as it's defended well by the Czechs. I think Yaroslav Shilhavi will just be telling his side just to try and keep it at 1-0, but they'll certainly have a lot of encouragement, and I don't he'll be giving us a glimpse of the Sir Alex Ferguson hair dryer at halftime, because this side is still very much in this game, aren't they?
They are still very much in it. Even the chances before, you can see they're very much in it. And no, he won't be given no hair dry treatment just yet.
Well, if a second goal goes in, he might be doing it as Kane now has it. Inside the box, Kane shoots low. Vaclik spills it. He made a real mess of the save. Sterling was in an offside position as it came back to him, and Tomasz Vaclik's blushes are spared, but Harry Kane, as he so often does for Tottenham, just finds that little pocket of room and then gets the shot away. And just before I get Justin's thoughts on that chance, Scotland have equalised. They're back in the game. Callum McGregor with the equaliser in that one. Of course, John Kane is bringing you that game on via StreamYard and, of course, via our Twitter page and on the Commentary Hub too. channel, which, of course, Barry Swain said about earlier on. But just going back to that Harry Kane chance, I mean, the goalkeeper saw it late, and he's rather lucky that when he spilled it, Raheem Sterling was offside.
Yeah, it was a great chance by Kane. Again, he's still looking for the first goal of his. But yeah, he's lucky that Sterling was offside there. Otherwise, it would have been an easy tapping for Sterling there.
Well, it certainly would have been an easy tapping, as you mentioned there. Just been no goals in the Euros for Harry Kane in 2020 or in Euro 16. It was his first experience of a major tournament. And of course, it's a tournament that's not been too kind to him. His first World Cup was something to really remember. Of course, it was the Golden Boot winner, as it was England's real important spearhead up front, and still has been, even though the Euros aren't quite delivering for him. And what it does to this group, it keeps England at the top. It keeps the Czechs second. They've both qualified, so the Czechs aren't going to be looking at their fans anyway on their phones or their tablets on social media to find out what's going on with Croatia or Scotland, because they already know their fate. It just means, though, that if Croatia and Scotland both draw, that being one of the best being one of the best third-place sides out of 6, of course, does probably mean that any of their chances will be hampered as Pickford takes this kick. And as we head to the end of the first half, Justin, what would you say would be your big sort of things you can congratulate England on, and how well they've sort of played in certain aspects, and what you could say they could perhaps improve upon?
I would say getting an early goal. I think getting an early goal changes the dynamics of the game. I think they've done that well. They've come into this game on the front foot, so they'll be pleased with that so far. And I think on the other hand, defensively, I think we need to, tighten up a bit, be a bit more organised, because it looks like the Czech Republic are breaking us down a bit too easily. So I think in order for England to either keep this 1-0 or try and get another goal, they need to be a bit more organised. And then I feel, in attacking third, we need to create a few more chances and get Saka and Sterling running a bit, to get in behind this Czech Republic defence.
Yeah, there hasn't really been there so far, Saka or Sterling having the ball at their feet. They've almost had to make the off-the-ball runs to go and attack it. And, of course, the most decisive cross that Sterling attacked, he headed in. And it's so far so good for England, but still a few question marks and a few doubts as to their performance. Have come in and have given England a fright or two. It was a cross from Grealish, which Saka was trying to attack and missed, but behind him was Sterling to head in from close range to give England the lead with just around 15 minutes on the clock. We've had chances as well as England. Sterling's hit the post. Kane's had a set from Vaclik. Thomas Holles have gone close for Yaroslav Shilharvy's side. In this top of the table clash in Group D, it is England that lead at the break. It's England 1, Czech Republic 0.
Thank you very much indeed, Iles and Justin. England leading by 1-0. Raheem Sterling, the goal scorer, also hit the post in the early doors. We've got Justin Hoyte with me. Can you hear me, Justin? All right.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Perfect. What do you think? I mean, we were talking the other night again after Scotland. We were all having a bit of a rant and a bit of a, having a bit of a go at England. Tonight they've looked at a really different proposition, and Raheem Sterling, we gave a lot of criticism. I certainly did, He's really been the standout player. He hit the post and then took his goal absolutely superbly, didn't he?
He did, yeah, and I think he's been playing very, very well in this game. A lot better than the Scotland game. I think a lot of people, a lot of fans, and probably himself criticised himself for that performance, and a lot of fans criticised him for that performance. But he's a world-class player. He's been performing well for Man City last season and a lot of this season when he played. So he's got that ability in him. It's just a confidence thing, and I think he even mentioned it when he gave an interview. He's happy, with his performance. He's happy, playing regularly. So, it's showing tonight, in his performance. So no, I'm happy he got his goal and happy with the way he's playing, and I'm sure the rest of the England guys are happy, and Southgate is happy, showing faith in putting him in.
Yeah, and I think obviously Jack Grealish, the fans wanted him in the side. How do you think he's performed in that number 10 role just behind Harry Kane?
I think he's performed okay. I think the Czech Republic have dealt with him really well at the moment. I think he's used to playing more on the wing and getting the ball and then driving inside more. So maybe that's a better position for him. And the number 10, him as the number 10, I think Czech Republic are dealing with him quite well. But you can never count him out because he's one player that can change the game in an instinct. So he'll be upset not to create as much chances as he has done. He wanted to create a lot more. But I feel as this game goes on and his confidence grows in the England starting lineup, I think he'll be a great asset and a great player for England once he starts playing a bit more.
Absolutely. I think, he looks... I have to say, I watched him just in the warm-up, and I certainly saw him in the previous match before against Romania, and he just, every time he got the ball, he just ran with it and ran with it. And he's a player that, we'll... I'm a big admirer of Jack Grealish. Obviously, I think probably the best midfield talent we've had, possibly, in terms of skillful midfield player since Gaza. And that's a tribute from somebody like me. I think we've had too much of the same player like a Steven Gerrard or a Frank Lampard in the past from the so-called golden generation of England players. But I think Grealish, I don't know, I think you'll agree with me on this one, but I think Grealish is the sort of player, Justin, that you could actually make you sit on the edge of the seat as an England fan. What a talent. If we can nurture him and manage him, then I think we've got a work potentially, because he's only 24, 25. Let's not forget, he's still got time on his side. We've got to take him once he reaches his prime.
Yeah, he's a world-class player. I mean, the more he plays and, he's at Aston Villa, so the more he plays, Premier League and shows his talents there. He's done it last season. He's done it every time he's played. And the more he'll play for England, I'm sure we'll see the best of him. And I don't even think England have seen half of him just yet. I think, sure, even when he come on against Scotland, you can see him getting the ball and he's always trying to create something, go at his defenders, create a cross, create chances. And obviously he created the chance for Sterling there. So he's a player that England are going to want to, look after. And I think England fans and the England players will be talking about him for a long time. And even, see some of the top coaches and managers talking about him. He's a special player. And it's great that he's an English boy and he's playing for England. And I think this is, over the years, this is what I feel England have missed, a player like him in the lineup or in the squad to come on and change the game, where a lot of the midfielders have been the same. He brings that different play and someone a bit different to everybody else into the squad and into the England system.
Absolutely. In fact, we've got a question for you, actually, Justin, in a minute. Don't forget, guys, if you are on Hot Mic or you're on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel, which is this match is taking place on, don't forget to leave comments and likes and just let us know how good the coverage has been so far, or bad, whichever one you want to talk about. But Russ Vernon, our colleague, Justin, has come up with a question for you about Saka. He says, what is your thoughts on him? He goes on to say he's the man in the match so far. What's been your impression of Saka in this first half?
I think Saka's been great this first half. I think he's been fantastic. I think he's great coming into the England side. I think he's done perfectly well. I'm a huge fan of him. Obviously, being an Arsenal player, I'm a huge fan of him. He's a young guy, and he goes out and he just performs, to his best. Gets on the ball, runs at his defenders. When he hasn't got the ball, he makes runs in behind. And I think he's a great player for England to have in the side. And a lot of the Czech Republic defenders will be scared of his pace and be scared that the fact that when he gets the ball, he's going to run at them and create chances for other players and for himself. And then he actually got in for the header from Grealish's cross there.
Yeah, he did. And the other good thing on his side, he's a young kid. He's still 18, 19 years old. And I mean, like you, I've covered a lot of Arsenal on my own channel, and I have been impressed with his work rate, his industry, his willingness to get forward, to get balls into the box. He can even score the odd goal or two as well. And that's the quality of Saka. I think Arsenal have got a really good player on their hands, I think, going forward.
Yeah, I think they've got a great player on their hands. I think they know that as well. It's just how they're gonna, use him to their best, and how he performs for Arsenal. But I'm sure as he continues to grow and continues to develop and play regularly in the Arsenal team, hopefully, he's going to grow and become an even better player than he's showing now. And I'm sure there's a lot more learning he's going to do under Mikel Arteta, and learn from a lot of the Arsenal players there, the experienced guys there. But I feel he's a great player to have in the Arsenal side, and I'm sure next season he'll be probably one of the first ones on the team sheet.
Absolutely. Just stay with us for a moment, Justin. I just want to nip in at this point and just remind everybody that we've got 4 live commentaries coming your way across the Commentary Hub network tomorrow afternoon. We've got all the last lot of group games coming up. I don't know. I haven't got anything in front of me, but what I do know is that the remaining groups will be played to a conclusion, and you'll be able to hear all those games on any sort of platform on the Commentary Hub network. So that includes Commentary Hub 2, my own channel, JB Sports, where we take a lot of the feeds. At the moment, we'll be on Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, you name it, we're on it. Also, don't forget, Thursday night, we're going to be doing a podcast. All the commentators, myself, Barry, Matt, Russ, Nicholas, Mike, John Kane, who's doing the Scotland game, we'll be all getting together and doing sort of an hour-long podcast to debrief to do a post-mortem on what's been a terrific game, a terrific group stage. Only the 2-0 so far in the group, which has been amazing. So the football, I have to say, has been much better group stage-wise than the tournament that we had in 20. Not been too much closest play, certainly in any of my matches I've covered.
John, did you want me to butt in there and run through the commentators for tomorrow? I was actually just about to run through. Well, we've got Slovakia against Spain and Sweden against Poland are the two inverted commas earlier kickoffs. They're both 5 o'clock kickoffs. Russ Vernon is doing Slovakia against Spain, and Nicholas Jones is doing the Sweden-Poland game. And then the 2 late games is in that group of D, as I keep calling it, the group of death. Germany against Hungary. Jack Cunningham is commentating for the first time during the Euros for us here on the Commentary Hub. And then Portugal against France, a repeat, of course, of the final 5 years ago. And Matt Iles is back for that one as well. Russ Vernon will be presiding over most of those as the presenter. And that's it until Saturday. Nicholas Jones will be kicking off the knockouts with Wales against Denmark at tea time on Saturday. Can't wait for that one, John.
Absolutely. And just to follow on from Barry, I've got Italy-Austria that same night, the 8 o'clock kickoff. Now, you do have a choice of games at the moment between this one and the Scotland game. If you want to listen to the Scotland game, we are live on all the other platforms. That includes Football Commentary Hub 2. That's Russ's own channel. My own channel, JB Sports, it's on there as well if you want to listen to that. On my platform, 800 subscribers. Sorry about that. I just had to get that in. Also, it's on Periscope and all that. And I won't go through the lot because we haven't got time. On here, if you want to listen to the England game, on here, stay tuned here, because here on Up Mike and on Football Commentary Hub, the main channel, we'll have the second half in just a few moments of England's match against the Czech Republic. If you've just joined us, England 1-up through Raheem Sterling. Scotland and Croatia, just to give you the half-time debrief in that one, It's one apiece there. Just a quick word before we head back to Matt Iles, Justin. What do you think now? Scotland back in it at 1-1 in that other game. Do you think they've got a chance? And now we were impressed with them when we saw them on Friday. They need to score again to give themselves a chance. Can they do it? That is the burning question. Can they do it?
I think they can do it. I think getting a goal right at the end of the half there, I think that was huge for them. And I think they're going to go into the half time there with huge confidence. And I think they're going to come out firing on the front foot like they did in the first 5 minutes of the England game. And I'm sure that goal has given them a lot of confidence to know and belief that they can do it. And I'm sure they're going to be hyped up in the locker room to go out and get the victory in the second half and put in a good performance, because they know if they don't, then it looks like it could be the end of their tournament. So I'm sure they're going to give it everything they've got. And in Scotland, they're going to have that never die attitude.
Absolutely. I remember it being a dressing room in the olden days. But
yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry. It's been in America too long. We're calling it locker room.
Absolutely. No worries. Right,
same as I keep saying pitch and field. Sorry, guys.
Right.
Spent too long in the MLS.
I know. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what's happening. They've been out there 3-4 years. That's what happens.
The old locker room, eh? It feels like we're covering the NFL and not the Euros. But anyway, just before I head back to my commentary box, just to remind you, if you want to listen to this game, you can stick with us here on Hot Mic and Commentary Hub. If you want the Scotland-Croatia game, it is Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports, Periscope, Twitter, you name it, we've got it all covered here on the Commentary Hub. Your alternative home of alternative commentary. I hope you got the gist of that. And now I'm going to hand back to your two commentators now for the second half of England against the Czech Republic. England leading 1-0 through Raheem Sterling. That is Justin Hoyte, the former Arsenal defender, and match commentator Matt Iles.
Thank you very much, John. Yeah, and chat about the game that's just unfolded before us in the first 45 minutes. England have improved after the Scotland display, but of course, there is still maybe a little bit more to give. Of course, should they top the group, they will be facing whoever comes second in Group F, which is either France, Germany, or Portugal. And Justin, of course, we find out tomorrow who finishes where in that group. Of course, Hungary can still actually go through in that group, which would be an absolutely astonishing thing for Marco Rossi's side to do. If you were the England team, the way they play, who would you firstly look at and think, well, who would I really fancy us to play against and who would I really fancy us to beat?
Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because France looked very strong. I mean, Germany didn't look strong in the first game, but in the second game, they looked really, really strong, and they're always good, and they're always going to be, there or thereabouts. And I'm not sure. I think maybe Portugal, would prefer to play rather than France and Germany, although I still think that would cause France a few problems with our attacking force.
Yes, absolutely. That is a game, of course, you can listen to on the Commentary Hub and, of course, our various social media platforms, as John Stuttard was alluding to at halftime, and of Barry Swain was during the first half. We will go speak to Barry Swain in the second half as he comes in, just to give you the information of what's to come on the channel, and of course, how you can find us and tweet us or of course, even follow our pages. But, of course, it just like there's going to be some changes at the break. Czech Republic are going to bring on Petr Sevcik, who's going to come on in place of Jakub Jankto. Sevcik is a central midfielder. Jankto is a winger, so maybe they are just shuffling the pack just a little bit. And Jordan Henderson is going to break in place of Declan Rice. So the first change, obviously, for England that they've made tonight. What do you make of that change from Gareth Southgate, Justin? Do you feel as though that might just be a change just to get minutes in Jordan Henderson's legs?
Yeah, I think it's to get a few minutes in his legs and under his belt, and I feel that's also to deal with a lot of the Czech Republic's threat in midfield. So I think he'll be more of a sitting midfielder there and organize and be an organizer and breaking up a lot of their play. So I think that's why he's put him in there, to give him a few minutes and also try and stop the attack from the Czech Republic.
Well, of course, it's a role he fits in well at Liverpool. And obviously, as I alluded to, Petr Sevcik has gone in place of Jakub Jankto. So it's a central midfielder by trade on in place of a winger. Do you maybe feel as though that the Czechs might change their formation based off that just then?
I think they might, by the looks of it. It looks like they might be changing their formation. It'd be interesting to see if they're going to go a bit more attacking or defensive, or maybe see the game out. But we'll see. We'll see once the game gets going if they've changed their shape to a more attacking shape, or a more, to try and stop the English threat.
Well, England, of course, a second half away from topping Group D. They, of course, have not topped their group in the European Championship since 2012, where, of course, they were pitted against France, Ukraine and Sweden, in which they recorded 7 points in that period, where they beat Ukraine 1-0 in the last game. They beat Sweden in their second one. In the first game, of course, they drew with the French one, with Jolien Lescott on the score sheet that day for England. But to 9 years on, it is England winning against the Czech Republic here to top the group. And Harvey certainly would have been encouraged on that first half display by his side. They missed some good chances. He'd be hoping, no doubt, Justin, that his side can create the same sort of chances that they had in the first half.
Yeah, he sure will be. He'll be telling them that in the dressing room there, to create as much chance as they can and keep on doing what they're doing. And if they do that, they'll be able to get a goal.
Well, of course, they did go close. So Czech went very, very close. We saw Tomáš Holeš try his luck from range, but his luck was out as Jordan Pickford thwarted him. So they are here to try and stop England topping the group, which is what Gareth Southgate's side are aiming for in his 57th match in charge. And, of course, the last time the Czechs visited Wembley, they were beaten 5-0 as England romped to victory in that first match of Euro 2020 qualifying. And the Czechs did get their revenge at the Sinobo Stadium when they won by 2-1. And, of course, the England survivors from that team that played in the Czech Republic on October the 19th include Jordan Pickford, Harry Maguire, Jordan Henderson now on the pitch, Raheem Sterling and Harry Kane. So they'll be hoping that they're on the wrong end of another result from the Czech Republic, as Phillips gives it to Ward himself in a spot of bother, and the Czech Republic got a corner inside 2.5 minutes of the second half. And England don't really want to be doing that, getting sloppy and just allowing the Czechs to get a to whip the ball away from a corner, dude. And that was rather poor from Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, especially when they're very dangerous on set pieces. They've got a couple of big men in the side, so they don't want to be giving away too many set pieces.
Well, they've gone high line in terms of England trying to stop the Czechs. Kalas, Schick, one of 4 players on 3 goals in the tournament so far in the box. It's going to be Vladimir Darida to take. He takes it short, gets it back, crosses in, but it's gone all the way through to Pickford. And in the end, it's a rather wasted corner by the Czechs, as the captain Darida has stayed down on the floor holding his ankle.
Mike,
Saka left one in on it.
While you're there, Mac, just quickly, we've got a new poll coming up for the start of the second half. Thought we'd put a little bit of tongue-in-cheek in it. Who's the best commentator on the commentary hub? We've given you 4 options. Mike Hahnemann, Russ Vernon, Matt Iles, of course, is on tonight. Or, of course, Nicholas Jones. Surprise, surprise. Don't you think's winning, Matt?
Wow, I don't want to say my name, you know. I'm going to go with Russ Vernon.
It's not you, because he's voted for himself. Mike Hahnemann's winning. But there's a long, long way to go, because Russ, yourself and Nicholas have yet to vote for themselves. So at the moment, the grooviest commentator is Mike Hahnemann on the hub. You heard it here first.
Yeah, do get voted if you are a regular listener to our coverage on the commentary hub. Of course, who is the best commentator? If you, I won't be offended. I won't be finding your Twitter account or Facebook and just demanding as to the answer as to why you've not picked me. So it's absolutely fine. It is a matter of opinion at the end of the day. Thank you for that, Barry. You can get involved in the conversation on Hot Mic. Don't be afraid to ask some comments to Justin, my co-commentator. He'll certainly be more than happy to answer. And, of course, about this game and what could be to come in the tournament for England and for the other side. That's a lovely ball into Kane. The touch just went away from him. right at the last, and then Jan Borro has to keep that in play. But Jordan Henderson looked up and nearly found Harry Kane through the middle, but he just didn't have long enough legs, did he? Phillips now has it through to Kane on the floor. This time it reaches to him. Now to Bukayo Saka, who looked really lively in that first half. Here's Phillips out to the left with Luke Shaw. England with their first potential attack of this second half, but it's defended well by Lucas. Kane was so close to getting that Jordan Henderson ball under control, and no doubt firing it Thomas Vaclik's goal. As Grealish now has the ball to Sterling. Grealish gets it back. The additions of Saka and Grealish to the side have been fresh injections of pace for England, as Shaw tries to give it to Sterling, but he's been cut out with that pass, as bringing it out there as the number 15 for Czech Republic, Tomáš Souček. And I mean, just a word on Jack Grealish. I mean, Bukayo Saka's probably stolen the headlines in terms of the lineup for Gareth Southgate tonight. But what have you made of Grealish's performance, Justin, in that first half and the start of this second half?
I think he was a bit quiet. He wants to get on the ball. Probably every touch, every attack he wants to be a part of. But in that sense, in that same breath, he created the goal. He's got on the ball. He's attacked. When he's had the ball, and he's done what he's needed to. So it's a good performance from him so far. Obviously, getting an assist, that's what people are going to be talking about. That's why he's in the side. So yeah, it's a good, solid performance from him so far.
One thing about it as well, a lot of people are expecting Jadon Sancho to start the game tonight. Of course, his assist and number at Dortmund is quite phenomenal this season. Were you surprised to see start ahead of Jadon Sancho in the England lineup tonight? Yeah,
I thought Sancho was gonna play. To be honest, there's a lot of talk about him starting the game. A lot of fans wanted him to play, and how we done last season. You thought he was gonna start this game, but I think Southgate is gonna introduce him slowly, probably bring him on. I feel in the second half of this game, and then maybe he's saving him for later on in the tournament. Who knows? But he's certainly going to be a future player for England.
Absolutely. Schick gives it to Majapus, cuts it across. It's Saka who's going to clear that away. Good defending there by Saka. Was very aware that he had to get back in and help his defence out. And that is what he does. He is such a quick player. He has got that defensive nous, hasn't he? Because he has played as a wing-back before under Mikel Arteta. And, of course, that came handy there, no doubt, to try and help out Kyle Walker and the rest of the England defence. And one actual noticeable thing is, you could say, just how high Jordan Henderson is actually playing. So it effectively really looks like that Gareth Southgate's gone against the idea of two old midfielders and is essentially just having Phillips just be that shield between the back four, and Henderson play as the number 8, like the shirt number that he's got on tonight and for the tournament.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was watching it closely and I was just seeing how high Henderson was. He put in across there, and he was playing a lot of forward balls. Obviously, that chance for Kane there, and he seems like he's pushed a bit further forward, and they've gone like Phillips is the more holder in midfield, and Jordan Henderson has pushed a bit higher, which is, I think, a plus for England, because I know a lot of people, and even myself, was thinking why they put in two holding midfield players. But it looks like Henderson is pushing a little bit further forward when England have the ball. And Phillips is playing that holding role that he's used to at Leeds, and getting on the ball and spraying a few passes around.
Well, I think as well, maybe they've looked at the tactics side of it. I mean, obviously, Czech Republic have got, four central midfielders on the pitch in Darida, Ševčík, Souček and Holeš, and they're very much going to try and get on the ball and play it through to Patrick Schick, as Sterling looks to try and race onto the end of Harry Kane's flick on, but Jan Borro was very well placed to make that tackle. And just a word on the Czechs, is they've, of course, made a half-time change with Ševčík coming on in place of Jakub Jankto. It almost does maybe feel like a little bit with them that they might be going a little bit more centrally and looking to get the ball down on the floor in the middle and giving Schick a little bit more supply, because the first half, he was really isolated, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very isolated up there alone, and I feel this change at half-time is now getting involved a bit more, and obviously trying to get him involved into the game and trying to get him in chances in front of goal and around goal to to try and get themselves back into this game.
Czech Republic have a throw. Lukas Mazurpush on the right-hand side has worked hard tonight. Of course, he's had to really run up and down that line. It's a massive pitch at Wembley Stadium, and of course, that doesn't affect modern-day players these days, of course, as he tries to go on the outside of Shaw, but he runs out of room, and he's going to have to play for a goal kick. Of course, the other game in this group, Scotland and Croatia, is a 1-1 draw. Not really good for either side, to be honest with you. Of course, both targeting that third place position, and that position, of course, that will get them that spot as one of the best 4 third place sides out of 6. We've seen, of course, Switzerland take 4 points in Group A, Finland and Ukraine both on 3 apiece. Of course, this opens the door for one of Scotland or Croatia to get through. And, of course, that is 1-0, and Callum McGregor equalising, cancelling out Nikola Vlasic's opener as Jordan Henderson is barking out instructions to his England teammates. Of course, so much is his game at Liverpool is all about that, isn't it? Just giving instructions out to whether it's his midfield or his defence. And that's one thing that really does strike me about Jordan Henderson, Justin, is the fact that his leadership skills just seem to be getting better and on with age, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of his game. I mean, some people say he's not the best player, but, you don't always have to be the best player on the field. But, if you can bark out orders, push people here, push people there and get people organised, that's worth more than having, being the best talented player, because you're organising people in front of you, you're organising people to the side of you and behind you. And, the players ahead of you will value that. I've experienced that myself as I got older. I felt myself being more of a talker, and that kind of helped the players in front of me and around me, and the people around me actually valued that. So, and it also helps the team to be organised and focused as well at the same time, and it also gives the opponent team something else to think about.
Well, you certainly had a good career just in playing at some very, very big clubs. I'd love to know who those sort of leaders in the team that made you sort of stronger as you got on were. I mean, you played with, of course, you were actually working under Gareth Southgate when he was your manager, of course, all those years ago at Teesside and at Middlesbrough. Of course, he's now in charge of England as he's hoping to lead England to Euro glories for the first time and their first major honour in 5 years, as Calvin Phillips is penalised for a foul on Vladimir Dorida there. And the second half so far, Calvin Phillips has certainly just been caught out a few times, hasn't he? And Vladimir pressure on and did well to win a free kick in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, he's not started too well in the second half here, but I'm sure he'll regain his focus and get back to how he was performing in the first half. He just needs to settle down a bit, get these maybe second half nerves out of him, and he'll be just fine. But yeah, he needs to, less mistakes and he'll be just fine. But if he keeps making the mistakes, you never know what it could lead to. So hopefully it will, get better as the second half goes on.
You certainly hope so. But of course, he hasn't really anything to worry about too much yet in terms of wave after wave of Czech threat, of course. And I will go to Barry Swain because I'll just be hoping that there's been a few more votes on the poll. And of course, let's remind the viewers listening in what's to come in the next few days.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Well, first of all, there was a poll in the first half. How far can Southgate take England? Round of 16 was the winner there with 50% of the votes. A couple of votes quarters, a couple of votes for the final. No one actually went for the semi-finals. That's usually where our heartbreak lies, isn't it? In terms of matches coming up, 4 matches for you tomorrow. Slovakia, Spain and Sweden, Poland, both at 5 o'clock. Russ Vernon is doing Slovakia against Spain. Sweden, Poland is with Nicholas Jones. Jack Cunningham is doing Germany, Hungary at 8 o'clock. At the same time, Portugal against France, repeat of the 2016 final. Matt, you're the commentator for that, but you're still not winning the poll. Mike Harneman is still in front.
Well, I love it. He's probably made another anonymous account to give him a second vote, eh?
Without I haven't voted for him. I can't vote. I set these up. I can't vote. I was going to vote for you, Matt. Honest, I was.
Well, I thank you, Barry. I mean, I'll give you a £10 note at the end of the game. But anyway, we'll hear more from Barry Swain throughout the game. But of course, if you're just tuning in, we're 15 minutes in, almost into the second half. It's Czech Republic 0, England won. England, as it stands, heading to top of Group D. That's a lovely deep ball in there. Decided to just palm it away rather than catch it first time. Probably a better decision, in fact, by Jordan Pickford. Harry Kane's up there on his own. He's holding off a couple of Czech Republic players, and then Ondrej Seluchka with the challenge. But good goalkeeping there by Jordan Pickford for a man who does often get criticised for some of his decision-making in quick instances in that there, Justin. But that was good goalkeeping.
It was great goalkeeping. He does get a lot of criticism. I think I've said it before in the last commentary. He gets a lot of criticism, but I feel so far in this tournament, he's done really well. He's come up trumps every time. You know, they've had a team has had a chance on goal, and he's made some great saves so far, not just in this game, but in this tournament. So for England's sake and England fans, let's hope that it continues. And, you know, he's certainly proven his doubters a bit wrong at the moment.
Jan Borrell in the book as he fouls Bukayo Saka. He did certainly get the Arsenal man first before he touched the ball, and he's got to walk a tightrope now for the remainder of this game. The Czech Republic left back at 30 years of age. He's one of the older players in this Czech side. As Jaroslav Šilhavý looks on, they've not been as threatening as they were in the first half, the Czechs, but of course they've still got half an hour of the game or just under to find an equaliser. Here's a chance for England, though. Bukayo Saka to take it. He's going to float this in. Looking for John Stones, who flicks it on for Kane. Thomas Kalas heads it our way, and that's gone for a corner kick. And that's what you want, isn't it? John Stones is very, very good at that, and he's been doing it tonight. But the flag has been raised on that right-hand side by Rui Tavares, the Portuguese linesman, against Raheem. And, of course, one thing that we've noticed with set pieces, Justin, is John Stones, the target pretty much on every single occasion, does off to the back post to try and flick it back into play, into the middle for either Harry Kane or Harry Maguire, doesn't he? He's very, very good at that, isn't he, is John Stones? He's
very, very good at his timing and set plays, even getting on the end of, you know, corners and free kicks, and especially peeling away at the back post there. He's very well, you know, leaps very well and really knows how to put it back in the box once he gets to the back post. But he does a great job of doing that.
England have conceded a free kick with a handball going against Jack Grealish. Jaroslav Šilhavý not satisfied with what he sees on the pitch, so he's going to go to the bench not once but twice. But the Czechs have the ball in attack here with Patrick Schick. Here is now the number 15, Souček. Now, played at Euro 2012 and Euro 2016. And Harry Maguire went in on Tomáš Holeš, but the referee says that Maguire didn't touch him. Bit of a lucky break, I think, for England there, as Holeš has stayed down. Czech Republic carry player on the floor. His set kick. Now it's with Lukas Masha now play will stop to allow Tomáš Holeš some treatment, but that did look like it was a free kick. And big news at Hampden Park in John Kane's game. Croatia leads Scotland by 2-1. They're back in front, and what a goal that is by Luka Modric. It just shows that class is permanent, and just like a fine wine, he just seems to, you could say, get better with age. What a finish that was by Luka Modric. That means Croatia go above Scotland in Group D to third place, and that would be enough, you'd think, to secure their place in the knockout stages and be one of the best 4 third-place sides. So Alex Kral will be coming on, the man who plays his club for Spartak Moscow in Russia, in place of the captain Vladimir Darida, who is took off in his absence. Kral can very much a haircut that David Luiz would be very, very proud of. And as Darida goes off and Kral goes on, another one will come on. Off goes Majapust, who's ran tirelessly tonight, and on comes a hot prospect in Adam Hlozek of Sparta Prague, a name that many Czech fans do believe is the next great player. Of course, they've been blessed with some good attacking players, the likes of Patrick Berger and Milan Baros, and their record ever goal scorer Jan Koller. So there's 2 changes there. So they've gone with pace in Hlozek, and Crowley can get the ball down in play. So Jaroslav Šilhavý, no doubt, Justin, is pretty upset and unhappy with the fact that the Czechs haven't threatened on England's goal in the second half, you could say.
No, I don't think he's happy at all with how the beginning of this second half has gone so far for the Czech Republic. That's why he's gone to his bench and brought on some young, talented players here who are very attacking. So I think he's wanted to change things. He obviously, can see he wants to go for the victory or try and get the draw here. So he's gone to the bench and made 2 changes now, and this will probably change the dynamic and the way the Czech Republic will play leading towards the second part of the second half here.
Well, Marcus Rashford, he's going to be coming on, as is Jude Bellingham, a man who before Poland's Kasper Koszlowski was come on in the game on Saturday against Spain, was the youngest ever player to play at the Euros for any country before he was overtook in that respect by the Polish midfielder Koszlowski. If before that sub gets, do you think the 2 changes will be 4?
I think they might take off maybe Harry Kane, and I think they might take off Grealish, give him a rest, or they'll take Saka off maybe and put Grealish out on the wing, put Bellingham in midfield, and maybe Kane for Rashford, I think. So I think maybe Saka and Harry Kane maybe. We'll see.
Harry Kane has gone off both games in these championships as Sterling was fouled there by Vladimir Soufal, the West Ham right back, and Sterling just hobbles back up. I think that was just a case of maybe just a brush of the knee. Vladimir Soufal. So Bellingham and Rashford are going to have to wait to come on. England's threes have not quite been as on point as perhaps they would have liked, but Bukayo Saka's going to take it now. It's going to be an in-swinger, and you just got to hope that England, more importantly, can force a save out of Tomasz Vashlik, and of course just get a attempt at goal as the subs will now take place. So Raheem Sterling got his goal, missed that early chance where he hit the post, and Rashford comes on for him just quickly. Justin, good night for Raheem Sterling, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good night for him. Good performance after the other night against Scotland. Great performance, and the main thing, he's got his goal, and that could be the deciding factor there of the 1-0 victory for England. And yet again, he's come up trumps and scored a goal. So
Jack Grealish will come off. His full debut in the European Championships or a major tournament for England is ended by another Brummie, Jude Bellingham coming on. Such great hope for the 17-year-old, excelled at Dortmund, and it does just add a bit of a difference to this England midfield now as Bellingham is on. Saka with the delivery, not a bad ball in. Maguire goes down. It was under the challenge from Jan Boril. Maguire not happy about that as play still continues with John Stones, who's acting as a winger to help the attack. And I'll get Justin's thoughts very, very soon about whether or not he thought that was a penalty and what these changes do for England as Bellingham just gets his first substitute. And he now goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. But the subs, first of all, Jude Bellingham's going to come on. What's he going to bring to the team that's going to really play in his favour and play in England's favour as they try and close this game out?
I think he's really good on the ball. It brings another midfielder. He's completely different to Grealish, and I think he'll be another number 8 with Henderson in midfield and shore up the midfield. But at the same time, he's got that attacking presence about him. But he's really calm on the ball. Really, really good player, and I really like him. And I think he'll bring a different dynamic to the England midfield.
Well, that's the thoughts from Justin Hoyte on Jude Bellingham, and I'm pretty much sort of echoing that. He really is a talent, isn't he? And he's somebody at just 17. It feels like he's going to be in this England team for 10, maybe even 15 years. He really is ahead of his time. And for someone who's 17, I mean, it's just fantastic to see that in the space of 2 years, he's gone from, bursting onto the scene in the Championship to being a sub in the European Championship. But this is the penalty appeal. Maguire goes down. Probably got to say he might be a little bit unlucky there, surely, from that foul from Jan Boril. There was that push. Do you think that's a penalty, Justin, for you? Or is there maybe not enough contact?
I'm not sure if there was enough contact, but it might have been enough contact that it was, could be seen to go to VAR or something. But my personal opinion, I don't think it was, enough contact, but there might have been a little bit of contact to, for him to appeal to the referee that, there was contact.
Here is Jan Boril, the man who just made the foul on Harry Maguire. Remember, he has been booked in this game, so one more thing he does wrong and the referee catches him. He will probably be getting sent off, and that's the last thing the Czechs need as they go in pursuit of an equaliser, which would send them through as group winners. Of course, they are already through as well as England, so, of course, they've already done one part of it without even kicking the ball as their fate was sealed last night, but the result is not going in their favour as Alex Krell was immediately put under pressure and was forced to just kick it out to his left up for a throw as the camera pans on Gareth Southgate. And Justin, what do you think he would have made of this second half by England? As it just almost feels like they've probably echoed the performance against Croatia in this second half, haven't they?
Yeah, I thought they have. I think, looking at his face, I think he's kind of, happy with how they've performed. They've limited the Czech Republic to, hardly next to no chances at all in the second half. So I think, he'll be happy that, they've kept possession well and they're doing the job needed so far. So I'm sure he's going to want that to continue. And now he's got a bit more of experience with Henderson in midfield and now bringing a youngster of Bellingham and using his legs and Rashford's legs now to push forward and, counter-attack anything that the Czech Republic might pose any threats. But I'm sure he'll be happy with how they're performing so far.
Well, of course, there is improvement from Friday night, which was probably described by some as one of England's worst performances as Saka nearly is able to race onto the end of that long ball forward from Calvin Phillips, which he does have in his locker, doesn't he, where he drops deep, receives it short from the centre-back. And we've seen him do that so often for Leeds this season, haven't we?
We have, yeah. I mean, that's every time I watch Leeds, I see him drop deep, get on the ball, put in a few passes, and I think he's a great player, especially having that midfield role by himself. I think that suits him perfect, and I feel having him in the sole midfield by himself, I think that's what he wants. He can get either side of the midfield there, dropping between the two centre backs, and I think that's his favourite position. And having him there by himself, I think that's where he'll. That suits him and that's where he feels more comfortable.
Well, of course, our man for checking what's going on in the polls and the comments, Barry Swain. And, of course, he's going to give you the lowdown of how you can find us for our various social media channels and tell us what's hot and what's new on the Hot Mic chat for all our viewers watching onto this stream. So over to Barry to give you the latest on that front.
Yeah, of course, if you're watching on Hot Mic, you can actually have a chat with us or interact with us. If not, on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, at Commentary Live 1. Or use the hashtag TCHUB, TCHUB. In regards to the poll, I can tell you Nicholas of the Undateables, Jones has got a vote now as well. Matt, you still got no votes, mate. You're at the bottom, and only the top two definitely qualify, so you could be going home tonight. One final thing on Twitter, a lot of support for Jadon Sancho, and a lot of surprise that he's not been used for a single minute so far for England. I wonder if they're going to use him between now and the end of this game.
And that does make quite an interesting debate, doesn't it, with Jadon Sancho? You said he hasn't started tonight, and to be fair, that is quite staggering to reveal. He hasn't actually been used yet in this tournament. Maybe you think that Southgate is toying with the idea at the moment of just bringing him on for the final sort of 18 minutes of this one?
Yeah, I think he's toying with it. I'm sure it's playing in the back of his mind, to bring him on. I think I saw him go to warm up a little bit early when Rashford went to warm up, so I'm sure it's not going to be too longer before he comes on. Maybe he's going to give him a 15-minute run out here, maybe in this game. But I'm sure Sancho will be jumping to get on the field in this one. I'm sure the fans will be wanting him to see him get on the field. So I'm sure Southgate's going to give him, if not 15, but, maybe 10 minutes of this game.
Well, the ball was by Maguire through to Bellingham. He loves making those forward runs as the Borussia Dortmund man, but just as he was sort of getting into his stride and ready to get the shot away, Tomáš Holeš, the defensive midfielder, got in there and made a good challenge, and that's what Bellingham will bring to this England, of course, as he tries to cement a place for later on in the sort of, as he gets on in his career, he just tries to really further strengthen his position to be in England player, and that's what he does bring, doesn't it, Justin? Jude Bellingham. There's a he wears number 22. He was told by a play all the roles midfielder. As an 8, as a 4, and as a 6, and of course you really do have that as well. So you almost are the all-round midfield type, and you can almost see that in his game, can't you? That he's got a bit of everything.
Yeah, he's got a bit of everything. He can play anywhere in midfield. He's a It's a great player, great talent, and like I said before, he's a fantastic player, young guy, and he's enjoying his game at the moment. I think that's the main thing. He plays with a smile on his face, and the way he's so calm and collective. I think it is, he's way beyond his age, and it's a fantastic player. The fact that he can play in so many positions in midfield, it's a huge asset to have, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people after him.
Czech Republic have got a corner, and Patrick Schick, one of the tournament's joint top goal scorers, is substituted as Tomáš Petkart has gone on. So maybe they're looking ahead to the knockout stages are the Czech Republic, as Tomáš Petkart, who once was on the books of Tottenham, comes on and had a loan at Southampton a few years ago, many moons ago actually. In fact, now plays in Poland for Lech Warsaw as the big striker, been in the Czech fold for a long time now, but they've got a corner here. We're about to take it before our three did notice a bit of pushing and shoving going on, and potentially Petkart with his first touch, should he be found, could score and get a header at Jordan Pickford's goal, as England still hold the narrowest of margins. In by Sevcik. It's a delivery that is attacked by Callas, but headed away well by John Stones, out for a throw-in on the Czech Republic right-hand side. As Jan Boril goes over to take it. Now Sevcik to Boril. Crosses in, and it's a poor one. And England will hope that all the Czech Republic crosses from now to the end of the game happen like that, where they go out of play. And do you maybe feel now, with Petkart coming on for the Czech Republic, a big target man, maybe the Czech Republic might go a little bit more direct now in the latter stages of this one?
Yeah, I think it kind of looks like that. We're bringing on a bigger man up top there. I think they're going to play a bit more direct than they have been, or going a bit more direct than they had in the first half. So I think you'll have to see a change of style of play here for the Czech Republic. But it looks like they're definitely trying to go for the win here.
Well, they, of course, will be entertaining. Who goes through in Group E as the top place side, I believe, in that one. So, of course, they could be playing either Sweden, Poland, Slovakia, or Spain, which, of course, is going to be decided tomorrow. And as Barry Swain alluded to earlier, of course, all those games in Group E and in Group F. So England will find out who they'll be playing tomorrow. Second place in that group, remember, the group of death, as it is known as, with Germany, France, Portugal, and Hungary all involved. England will find out who they will play at Wembley next Monday. As it stands, it will be Germany who they will face. Of course, France already guaranteed a place in the knockout stages with 4 points. Portugal face France tomorrow in a repeat of the Euro 2016 final. I'll be bringing you coverage of that one on the commentary hub. And Jack Cunningham brings you the other game in Group F as Germany take on Hungary in Munich, the Portugal-France game in Budapest. And, of course, the other games are in Group E at 5 o'clock. Spain against Slovakia is brought to you by Russ Vernon. And then alternatively as well, Nicholas Jones is bringing you Sweden against Poland. Sweden already guaranteed a place in the knockout stages. Tyrone Mings is going to come on, and Scotland's journey is ending just as England and Czech Republic's is going on and on. 3-1 it is now. Ivan Perisic with the header in. So Spartan Army are going to bow out of the European Championships in the group stages, and John Stones' night is complete as he is going to be replaced by Tyrone Mings, who was replacing the side by Harry Maguire. And he's been somebody, Tyrone Mings, who came into the tournament with a lot of fans doubting him. But the first 2 games he's played, he's shown that he's a valuable asset to this England team, isn't he?
He has, definitely. He's valued and put in a good 2 performance in the first 2 games, and shown why he's, why Gareth Southgate has picked him and given him the confidence to play. So now he'd be happy to get a few more minutes in this game here, and he's been a great addition to the squad so far in the first 2 games.
Well, you can't help but feel maybe John Stones going off. I think we could be in agreement here, just in that he's almost using to protect him for the knockout stages, of course, knowing that they will be facing one of the big guns you expect in either Germany, France, or Portugal. He wants his best players available, and John Stones is a real key cog in the Southgate machine with England, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. You can see that already. He's got his mind on the next, big game, given John Stone's track record of injuries. He doesn't want any problems or anything niggling him that he might miss the next game. So he's taking him off, giving him a rest, and put Mings in, some fresh legs at the back, and another big presence at the back, because obviously the Czech Republic going to go a bit longer now. So put Mings in there as well to try and counter that also.
And of course, the first half did have chances in both areas and both sides, but the second half has not quite had the same story or the same sort of chances as it did in the first 45. As England, of course, have been relatively comfortable on the 1-0 lead they hold with 10 minutes to go. And Barry Swain, what's the debate on Hot Mic at this current moment? Are they sort of saying that England can go far, and are they still calling for Jadon Sancho to be coming on? What's the latest on that front?
Plenty of social media call for Jadon Sancho to be coming on. I think there's a lot of sympathy for Jadon Sancho and a lot of stick for Gareth Southgate for not using him. And it is a surprise to many people. We're just about to launch a new poll, man of the match. I haven't even thought about it to put on the poll for that. Saka, Maguire, Sterling. There's no one standout. Be interesting to see what your guys in the commentary box, what your thoughts are. But that poll will be going live in the next couple of minutes. So be interested to see who gets the nod in the man of the match race.
Yeah, if you are obviously tuning into Hot Mic and listening to our coverage, then don't be afraid to have your say on the man of the match poll. Of course, we'll be getting Justin's thoughts on that a little bit closer towards the end of the game. Of course, I don't have an inkling who it might be, but of course I could be completely wrong. So of course I will go to Justin in about 5 minutes time or so. So do a bit of thinking while you can. And of course, Jadon Sancho maybe does look like now he will be having some tournament football under his belt, albeit for around sort of 7-8 minutes. And if he comes on, I think there'll be a lot of people at home rubbing their hands thinking, we've had all this hype about him and the good he's done at Dortmund. We wanted to come on. Let's see what he can do in a short space of time.
Yeah, I think people are wishing for him to pushing and shouting at the TV for Southgate to get him on. I think that's what's happening at the moment. But I'm sure if it's 5 minutes, he's going to want to get on the field and just be happy to be a part of the squad playing and just getting on there and just trying to get the ball and do what he does best.
Tyrone Mings with the ball out to the right, looking for Jordan Henderson, who's abandoned his position of being a central midfielder for the time being, but is cut out well by the Czech midfield. As the ball is now with Thomas Souček. And we talked about how in the first half he was proving an elusive figure for the England defence, but second half, I think England have dealt with him quite well, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I think second half they've dealt with him very well. I think that's the change of shape, and obviously bringing in Henderson there. I think they've dealt with him very well in the second half, and they seem to have defended and been a bit more compact and organised at the back there and in midfield, which has stopped any threat that the Czech Republic have proposed.
Well, there was a shot just coming in as Justin was speaking there from Thomas Peckard as he turned and swiveled. He did fire it wide, and it's a good opportunity for Czech Republic there. And you can't help but feel that he should have at least worked Jordan Pickford there.
He should have done, yeah. It felt like England was sleeping there, but no, they can't, because they've got to try and see this out to get the victory and finish top of the group. But yeah, we can't be sleeping at the back there and giving them kind of chances. But on the other hand, Czech Republic will be upset that they didn't hit the target on that one.
So on comes Jadon Sancho in place of Bukayo Saka. He can feel very happy about his display that he's had at Wembley tonight, and Czech Republic go to the bench as Matej Vydra comes on in place of Tomáš Holeš, who goes off in his place. So the Czech Republic now have made their fifth and final change. Of course, a man that John Stuttard, our presenter, will know very well, given, of course, he plays for his hometown team of Burnley, the former Derby, Watford and West Brom man. So on he goes, and no doubt they're going to go two up front now. We've seen all sorts of formational position changes for the Czech Republic, but Jadon Sancho's gone in place of Bukayo Saka, and just a word on his performance, Justin. And I think no doubt that Gareth Southgate feels a bit vindicated with that selection of Saka ahead of Sancho, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he will be. I think Gareth Southgate will be very pleased with Saka's performance, and I think Saka will be pleased with his performance He put him in there, gave him the chance, gave him an opportunity, and it looked like he took it. So I think Southgate and Saka and the rest of the guys will be happy with his performance.
Well, the second half has had the feel of a friendly, really, hasn't it? Both sides have been pretty hell-bent on just settling for the 1-0. The Czechs, of course, know that one goal and a point will get them guaranteed top spot. And, of course, they will have the prospect of facing the big hitters in Group F of Germany, Portugal, and France. But as it stands, they're playing whoever is top in Group E. Crowd slides in, but good defending by Marcus Rashford. Tracked back all the way there and read the danger well, as England just have it now with Luke Shaw. As he going to try and get away from the midfielder, Sev Schick. He gives it to Rashford, who's got some energy to burn. Hasn't quite had the ball into his feet enough. Now it's Jadon Sancho. All the excitement about him not being used is now over as he's come on. Boril can't shake Rashford off the ball. He cuts it back to Henderson. It goes just beyond him. Bellingham's chasing it down. Cherapoli make a mess of clearing it. And Jordan Henderson puts it in and makes it 2-0 to England. It's a scruffy goal for Gareth Southgate's men, but not going to happen for Jordan Henderson. He thought he was going to get his first England goal. This will no doubt be checked by the VAR, which is, of course, João Pinheiro from Portugal. He's very much had his feet up tonight, of course, in terms of having no decisions to make. But this one here is going to be a very debatable one. And whether or not the last touch has gone off a Czech player, and it doesn't actually look like, Justin, that is the case.
Yeah, I'm just watching it here, so I'll just see what's going to happen here. But let me have a look here. What's going to happen?
It doesn't actually look like that. The touch has actually been made by Sevcik. Bellingham pokes it through to Henderson. There's no doubt that Henderson's offside. Callas tried his best to stop Henderson getting the shot on goal, and there is the confirmation that he is offside. And very, very quickly, that's another good example, Justin, isn't it, of the VAR being used very quickly to make the decision and agree with the referee.
Yeah, it was just before I was talking there. I was just watching it again. But no, it was the VAR there helping the referee. Otherwise, the referee probably would have given it a goal and it would have been all cheers for England. But you can clearly see he was offside. It was just a matter of, who touched it last and how did it get to Henderson there. But yeah, that's, VAR coming into play there and a reason why VAR is involved in football today.
And of course, the offside.
The last touch looks like it comes off the Czech Republic player. It's close. It's a tough one.
It is very, very tough, isn't it? You can almost say that Bellingham does knock it off Sevcik, but it did actually look like Bellingham did get the last touch. But of course, the closer replays and the analysis will tell you everything as Bellingham is fouled. And Barry Swain, time to bring you in one final time. Just remind our listeners what the schedule is for tomorrow, because the group stages get wrapped up.
Bukayo Saka, by the way, is currently winning the poll for man of the match. In terms of tomorrow, 4 matches for you. At 5 o'clock, got 2 matches. Slovakia against Spain with Russ Vernon. Sweden against Poland with Nicholas Jones. And at 8 o'clock, 2 games for you. Germany against Hungary. Jack Cunningham, your commentator. And Matt, you're the man behind the mic for the repeat of the 2016 final, Portugal against France. One quick tweet, I'd love to read this out, is from a guy called Josh Ravenscroft. It says, "Dear all Scotland fans with a Croatia flag in their bio on social media 3 years ago. Hope you're good, hun. Love England."
Smart to every Englishman. As England, of course, are as group winners in Group D. Scotland as the basement side. 23 years, of course, since their last tournament. They are heading home early and are heading home after just 3 matches. And Justin, as ticks on, there's still points that England can massively improve upon, but you have to give them there has been some sort of recovery from that display on Friday night.
Yeah, there has. I think, it's a professional performance they've put in. They put in a much better performance than they did against Scotland. They looked a lot brighter, a lot more energetic, and looked like they wanted to, cause a lot of attacking, a lot of attacking options. And I think they played a lot better than they did against Scotland. So I think after their performance against Scotland, they worked on the training ground, had a few talks with, themselves and as a team, and they come out a lot better in this game. And it's what they need now. It's tournament football now, so this is the momentum and the confidence they need now going into the next big game they're going to have to face.
There is now Kane, gives it to Rashford. He then gets away from Seluchka. Really good header away by Thomas Kallas. Really vital that he headed that away. He almost turned into it very, very quickly there, did the Bristol defender Thomas Kallas, and it was well done to the Czech Republic centre-back. And for Yaroslav Silharvey, I mean, obviously tonight's result was probably not gone the way he would have wanted. They'll look at this game that they've got in the knockout stages against the winners of Group E, and they'll almost think, do you know what? We can really fancy our chances here. They've almost got Spain aside, who are in transition under Enrique. 3 minutes have been added on. They've got Sweden, Slovakia, they've got Poland they could either face. They'll really fancy their chances in that one, won't they?
I think they will fancy their chances. I mean, even in today's performance, they've had a few chances that they can, a few positives from this game. So I'm sure they're going to be, upset with the loss in this game, but I think they're going to be very positive going into the next one and think that they can win and advance to the next stages.
Well, England's affected by Ben Chilwell and Mason Mount having to isolate due to their interaction with Billy Gilmore. This is the VAR output for Bellingham and Sevcik. It is a mighty close call. It's whether or not it's just brushed the foot of Sevcik. You actually cannot really see if the Czech player has actually touched it last, but you can clearly see Bellingham's foot go there. So we are talking literally small angles and close-ups as possible. Here's Alex Kral. Could Czech Republic spoil the party late on? No, they won't with a shot like that from Alex Kral. As I think he saw his name in lights there as the shot is fired over, as England's Jordan Pickford can just see that one flash over his crossbar. From Raheem Sterling, and a striker, or a good one anyway, needs to get in that position, don't they? And Raheem Sterling did exactly that, didn't he, Justin? Where's the seal? Like we've just in there, but that is the goal that is the difference at the moment. As Jack Grealish and John Stones look on, Bukayo Saka, of course, just having a little conversation with a fellow England player on the bench. They're nearly there. Portugal, Germany or France are to come at Wembley potentially, or even Hungary. They could be the real surprise shock in the group. Croatia, of course, as it stands, are actually leapfrogging the Czech Republic, I should say. So that means that they will be taking second place with the Czechs in third. As Zlatko Dalic's side, who were under serious pressure the World Cup final qualify, are going to qualify automatically and don't face a nervous wait to go through like some of the other sides. But the Czech Republic already knew before tonight they were heading into the knockout stages. Here is the number 18 for the Czech Republic, Jan Boril. And I think there's just been that sense tonight that the Czechs have just been pretty happy just to keep it at 1-0. And the flag is raised against Matej Vydra as we're heading into the final 20 seconds. And Justin, it's time for me to gauge your man of the match. Who do you think has been England's star player tonight on a improved performance from Friday night?
An improved performance, I would say. It has to be one of the attacking front three, either Sterling, Grealish, or Saka. I think I'll go for Saka, just because he's been brought into the team. He's been asked to do a job, and I think he's done his job great. He's attacked when he's had the ball, made the run-ins in behind, and I think he's created a lot of danger for England. So for me, I don't know if I'm being biased with an Arsenal fan, but for me, I feel his performance has been great. He's not got the goal. He was nearly there when Sterling scored. So I think his performance tonight has been great and a huge positive. And I'm sure he'll be pushing now to Southgate to pick me now for the next stage.
Well, England improved certainly from Friday night. The green shoots of recovery very firmly in place. It's a different feel around Wembley tonight. It wasn't quite as England as we wanted them to be, but they've certainly got the win that's enough to take them through as group winners in Group D. France, Germany or Portugal away at Wembley in a week. Raheem Sterling's goal and England's second and his of the tournament was enough to seal the win, as of course there were 4 changes to the side because they were impressed. Jack Grealish showed glimpses of what he could be as England end the group stages for the first time in tournament history since the World Cup in 1982, the second stage of it, where they haven't conceded a goal in either of their group games, as Harry Kane claps those England supporters in and around Wembley. But the job is done for England. Top spot, 7 points from 9, full time at Wembley. England have been victorious. Czech Republic 0, England 1.
Thank you very much indeed, Matt Iles. Brilliant comment there. Doing his best Murray Walker impression as well, by the way. Standing up throughout the commentary. But England are much better side tonight. Much better performance and deserved winners. The Czech Republic really didn't offer too much, really. Certainly in the second half in terms of looking to attack. But both teams knew their own fate. That is for sure. I've got sad news, of course, from Hampden Park. Obviously, Scotland are now, I'm afraid, out of the tournament, so they'll wait to get into a knockout stage of a major tournament, whether it's a European Championships or a World Cup. Knockout stage will continue, but I think Scotland should hold their heads up high. And they've given themselves their best shot, but it just wasn't enough. It was always going to be tough with England, Croatia, and of course the Czech Republic in very good form as well. But England winning the game by 1-0. And, much better performance, Justin. Ranting on tonight about the performance. I have to say, so you've gone with Saka, obviously. I don't think many people would blame you, actually, Justin, whether you were biased or not. By the way, the Man of the Match is sponsored by Commentary Services, by the way. But I just had to get that plug in. But Justin, I think you just. I mean, I've seen a bit of it. I saw a bit of the second half, as well, and I thought Saka was very impressive. I think I don't think anybody will debate the Man of the Match. In fact, Mike just said, it makes sense, Justin. Just I had to bring that one up. But I think I am in agreement with you. He had a good game tonight, didn't he? And I think he's justified his selection.
Yeah, I think he's justified his selection. I think he was put in a team to do the job, and he's done the job well. And I think he's now pushing and knocking on the door for Southgate now to put him in the team for the next game. I gave him man of the match just for his performance. He was, what he done in the game, and I think he done what he done in the game very, very well. And he was a threat throughout the game, and he's a very, very talented player that can go very far in the game and be a huge player not only for Arsenal but in the England setup. And you look at the England players that they've got on the wing and the attacking, players they have. For Southgate to give him the chance to play is showing the belief that he has in him, and he must be showing in training every day. Something special for Southgate to put him in. So I think he done a great job tonight, and I'm sure he'll be looking at the chance and opportunity and be knocking on the door to say, pick me for the next game.
Absolutely. I think the England performance was great. Obviously, disappointment from the Czech side, but they knew they were on. The thing was, the problem with the game was in terms of the quality of it. Both teams, they knew they were through. So when England scored, the second half was a bit of a non-event. But the fans were clamoring for Jadon Sancho to come on, and sure enough, he did. He did okay in the 9 minutes he had, and I think Southgate must surely have a look at Jadon Sancho. And it was also good to see young Jude Bellingham get a bit of game time, because, again, I've been advocating for these young players like Sancho and Bellingham who have impressed in Germany this season at Borussia Dortmund. And I think if you get those two in the side, I don't know how you feel about this, Justin. I think they've got bundles of pace. Obviously, Bellingham can play through the centre as well. It gives them options going into the knockout stage. Now, do you think they need to start with these two, or do you think you keep Sterling in? Do you keep Grealish in? I suppose if you're England manager, it's a very difficult conundrum to solve.
Yeah, I'm sure he's losing sleep over who to pick at the moment, because you see how Bellingham's come in every time he's played for England, even for Dortmund. He's a huge player. Like I said, composed on the ball, makes some forward runs, very athletic, very fast. And I think for me, I can't see why he's not going to start next game or even, moving forward in the England setup. He's a great player, and I think, moving forward, he's going to be the midfielder, like a number 8 for England. He fits in that old school mold and the new school mold of football. and I think he's a great asset to have in the England squad. Such a young player, and he's got nothing to lose. You can see that he played, like I said, he plays with a smile on his face, and he enjoys playing. And also Sancho, we've not seen him just yet in the tournament, but we know what he's capable of doing at club level and international level. So I'm sure there's going to be a point in this tournament where Southgate will unleash him, and I think he will be great for England. And he's waiting for that chance and opportunity. And I think against a defence like France, I'm sure Sancho will probably be used, or Bellingham will be used to combat French or the German or even Portugal's defence. So I'm sure, if not both of them, one of them will play a huge part in the next game and in this tournament.
Absolutely. Can I just say the Group C table as it's finished, England finished top with 7 points. Croatia actually goes second and qualify automatically on goal. Second place. Czech Republic are already through, qualify as a best third place team, so they're guaranteed a place in the last 16. And of course, Scotland go home sadly with a single point. Before we bring you the Scottish angle, Justin, let me bring in Barry on with the man in the match polls and the other polls that he's been running tonight. If we can bring you in, Barry, what's been gauging on the polls on the social media?
Yeah, the polls agree with what Justin said. Bukayo Saka by landslide, really, as you'd expect. In terms of who was the best commentator and commentary hub, we run that, didn't we? Bottom of the table was Matt Iles. It must have been his performance tonight.
Where was I?
I could only get 4 in, Joe. I didn't get myself in, did I? I didn't get myself.
I've covered more than 3 games.
Listen, if I'd have put you and me in, we'd have won by landslide. That's the thing. We've got to give the others a chance.
That's true, actually.
So that's what we've done. We've given those lesser commentators a chance. And Mike and Russ and Nick all level pegging on 33% exactly. I'm not quite sure we're going to sort that one out. It goes down.
I think we should give them a joint award. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Let them all go through. And Matt Iles, well, with not a single vote. Not a single vote. Bottom.
I think it's just, I can't believe that. He's done his best Murray Walker impression tonight.
He has.
He's got no votes. What are the public doing?
It's that very slight Bristolian accent that's dissuading people from voting for him.
Matt, if you're listening, pal, you get my vote. Okay.
Oh, thank you, mate. Don't worry, I'm not crying or anything. I won't just close the curtains and close the door and close the windows and have the lights off. It's all right. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's fine. I don't mind losing to a better man, so it's fine.
Yeah, are you still with us, Baz?
Yeah.
Nicholas, I think, has done a magnificent job. I mean, what he had to do at the start, and then he's just grown and grown and grown in confidence. Me and Russ have seen that, and Mike, and we've started you know what we've started, don't we? The Nicholas Jones fan club.
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very firmly a part of that. Yeah.
He's a good lad, Nicholas. Look, we wanted to bring someone famous in on this channel, and we brought Nicholas in because he was once a star on the Undateables.
The Undateables,
Here he is now.
And he bought
a star on the commentary hub, and he's a great commentator as well. And we're all, everyone on here is great commentators, and that's the whole beauty of this channel is giving people an opportunity, an alternative opinion, an alternative voice, an alternative way to bring commentary to the masses, and it's growing all the time. And Nicholas is certainly a big part of that. So well done, Nicholas.
Absolutely, and thank you, Barry. For tonight, and thank you. You've been a magnificent producer, magnificent co-presenter, and your polls have been top notch as well. So thank you to Barry for that. And I have to say, the next time you'll hear Nicholas, in fact, will be on Saturday when Wales play in their last 16 game at 5 o'clock on Saturday. The next you'll hear from me on the Commentary Hub and JB Sports and all the other platforms will be Italy against Austria. And that's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Right, let's finish. Let's bring Justin back in. Disappointment, I think, for Scotland tonight. They were unlucky, really. I mean, I've just seen Modric's goal on the TV, and it was a class goal. I mean, they've lost to a class side tonight. I mean, it's no shame, really, what Scotland have achieved, really. I mean, it was always going to be tough for them with a group, what they had. But they gave it a good go, especially, I mean, the highlight will be the draw against England. If they just scored a goal in that game, it might have been so different. But I don't think Steve Clarke's men could be can be too disgraced by it, or and they can hold their heads up high. Surely, when they look back at this, they'll look back at it with pride, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed with obviously going out of the tournament after such a big game against England, but they should hold their heads up proud and be happy with their performances in the games. I mean, to lose to a goal like Modric's strike there, there's nothing you can do about that. A fantastic player, fantastic strike. There's nothing you can do about that. Heads are down, and then they concede. They concede again. So no, they should be proud of their performance, and all the players will be probably disappointed, but at the same time happy. And like you said just a minute ago, the proudest performance was probably the draw with England.
Absolutely. I just want to catch up on a couple of comments because we've had a couple coming in. One from Nicholas Jones himself. He says, every time I listen to your commentary, Matt, I'm just bowing. So you've got to
Thank you very much. Cheers. Shame you couldn't vote for me, eh?
And also we've got Mike also says excellent commentary. Unfortunately, Russ Vernon, I've got to be honest, Russ Vernon is anti-Scottish. I can reveal now on the commentary of. I'm actually watching this now. He says Scotland get battered everywhere they go. That's a bit hard. Poor old Scotland. Poor old Scotland. I mean, I thought we were supposed to be British. I thought we were supposed to cheer for each other. I mean, what's happened to the British camaraderie spirit? I tell you. Oh, that's a controversial one, Russ, let me tell you. But all in good fun, I'm sure. So some fantastic comments. And thank you to everybody who's taken part in the polls and everything else. Final thought now on England and where they go from here. They've got to play. I mean, first of all, first question, who would you take now if you had to face neither Germany, Portugal, or Hungary? Well, let's assume Hungary aren't going to qualify because they will. With all respect, they'll be the whipping boys. I know they had a good result the other day, but it's going to be between obviously Portugal and Germany, isn't it? For the third place, should they get there? I mean, who would you fancy out of those two? I mean, they both had defeats, and England will have home advantage, of course, being at Wembley. But out of the two of them, who would England fancy meeting more, Germany or Portugal?
I would personally say Portugal. I think England can beat Portugal. I saw them against Germany, watched it very close, and I feel England pose a similar threat to what Germany have, the attacking threat that I don't think the Portugal can really defend against. The speed, the power, and the ability of maybe Grealish or hopefully Saka or even Sterling or even a Foden. I don't feel Portugal can kind of stop that.
Yeah, and even with Ronaldo in the side, I mean, Ronaldo's obviously been carrying them for years. They are the European champions. I mean, they're still a class outfit, whatever you say about them, but Ronaldo's can carry them. The only worry I would have, really, I don't know how you feel, how do you stop Cristiano Ronaldo even at his time of
I think he'll be tough to stop, but I still think England will have enough to play against that. I mean, he scored again. I mean, he's a fantastic player, and he's one that England will have to pay close attention to. But I just feel the way Germany performed in the first game and how they performed in the second game, they always get better as the tournament goes on.
They do.
And I feel Portugal, if you can try and stop Ronaldo somehow and stop him from making a big impact in the game, I feel will be a huge blow for Portugal. And I think if you stop that, then that's their attacking threat kind of stopped in a way.
And finally, Wales, have they got a chance on Saturday? They've got a decent chance. They've got a decent draw there. Do you fancy them on Saturday?
I think Wales actually stand a chance of going through there against Denmark. I think it'll be a great game. Denmark are a strong side, and after the events have happened, I'm sure they'll be well up for the game. But I think Wales actually do stand a chance, and I can actually see Gareth Bale producing the goods in that game, to be honest.
Absolutely, and thank you very much indeed to Justin, and thank you for being with us tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and thank you, of course, to Barry, our producer and co-presenter, and of course, match commentator Matt Iles for bringing you top quality coverage for the first time here on Hot Mic and on commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Our first ever match, and I think it's been a very good success. I have to say, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've really enjoyed every second of this one tonight, and I hope you've enjoyed it. The next football you'll hear on the Commentary Hub and commentary services across multiple platforms. We've got 2 games for you at 5 o'clock. You've got Slovakia against Spain. That's with Russell Vernon. That's at 5 o'clock. And at the same time, there's also commentary as well on Sweden and Poland. That's with the brilliant Nicholas Jones at 5 o'clock again also. And then finally, Group F, the big one, Germany against Hungary. You fancy the Germans in that one. That's at 8 o'clock with Jack Cunningham, who's going to be commentating for the first time on the Commentary Hub. So best of luck for him for tomorrow. And Matt will be back in the com box for a very big one, that one. Portugal against France at 8 o'clock. And all those games will be across Commentary Hub's YouTube channel, Commentary Hub 2. One or two will be, at least 2 games will be on my own channel, JB Sports. There'll be some games will be on Periscope, some games will be on Twitter and Twitch. And we'll keep promoting social media. I certainly will. And then you'll be able to find out what games you want to listen to on what platforms. We'll sort it all out anyway. And then on Saturday, and then on Thursday, rather, we've got myself, Barry, and Matt, Mike, Nicholas, and all the others, Russ, and all the others will be teaming up again for a debrief of the group stages, which has brought together some really good footballs. 2 0-0s from the first batch of games so far. Let's hope it continues. Let's hope that good trend of not many 0-0s continue tomorrow. And we get 4 quality games. And then on Thursday, as I said, we'll have a debrief, and then I look forward to the knockout stages. That's when the tournament really hots up, when we get to the knockout. So the extra time and penalties and all the drama that goes with that as we preview the knockout stages of that. And then on Saturday, the first of the knockout round games, we'll have Denmark up against Wales. That's at 5 o'clock. Russ Burner will be hosting both shows, and commentary on the first game. That's Wales against Denmark will be by Nicholas Jones. And then I'll be in the commentary box for the game at Wembley at 8 o'clock between Italy and Austria. And that's going to be a great game. I'm pleased to be giving the Italians again. Last time I covered them, they were absolutely superb in winning against Switzerland. And I would expect the same at Wembley from the Algeria on Saturday night. But in the knockout phases, anything can happen. When it's cup football, knockout football, anything can happen. But anyway, we'll let you know when the draw is complete. We'll let you know what's going on with all the commentaries and everything else. But for now, thank you very much to Justin. Thank you for being with us, and I hope we can work again very soon.
Yeah, of course we will, for sure. I'll be on. I'm looking to do another game very, very soon.
Yeah, you've been our star. You've been our Alan Hansen this summer. You've been absolutely superb. So thank you.
I'm trying.
You're good. You're brilliant. And thank you again to Barry and to Matt Iles, our commentator. Well, it's been a terrific night for England. Much better performance. Terrific result. Raheem Sterling performing better. And Gareth Southgate, and I'll leave you with this thought. At the end of the Scotland game, he was casually dressed, and I ranted on that he should go for the suit. Tonight, he heeded what I said, and the suit came back. Not the waistcoat, but the suit came back. And England won, and won pretty comfortably in the end. From myself, Barry, Matt, and Justin, good night to you all. Good night.
Good night.
Well done, guys.
Oh, I can breathe.
Right, I'm gonna end the